I don't jinx it.
Okay, all right, no jinxes. Thank you for your time, Ollie.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you.
Bye.
Yeah, the big clan, big hopes for everybody here. A lot of German production, a lot of German staff in the building, and we all want to see them win. Not just the Germans, me too. You know, we're all looking for a big run from players like Tabson, who have just such a storied history in this game, and it's always really cool to see kind of a homogenized lineup from a region where they can only pull people of their country and see if they can do a lot. Because the international lineups, they can spend as much money as they want, buy out all these other players, but for these smaller teams, sort of like Berlin International Gaming, it's really fun to see if they can make the most of what they have. We followed bigger rounds, we tracked them down, we located them, and we got the most important member of the clan. Okay, he'll never admit it himself, but it's Gobby. Gob, first of all, you're looking amazing.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're in good shape. I was in the gym the other day with him. He's working on the elliptical, and honestly, as it's so good to have you back as well in the game. How has it been kind of reintegrating into the team in a more, you were always around, but more in a full-time role?
It has been a pleasure for sure, and first of all I want to say that I'm very happy to be back, because it was, even though it was always kind of planned to end up being the coach, but the question was when, and it looked like they needed me more, and that's why I'm happy to help them and now build something, hopefully.
Do you appreciate honesty?
Yeah, of course.
I didn't put you in my pick'em.
It's okay.
Because I thought that Favin was going to be a huge reason that you would make a deep run. I was really impressed. Obviously, I think a lot of people were at your ability to survive despite this talent. He was a massive talent, right, to come onto the roster. So can you talk about what it feels like, first of all, to not get to play with him, and are you kind of impressed or with your own results getting through the challenger stage in that fashion?
Like honesty, we had an easier route than we expected, to be honest. We had a hard route in the RMR. A lot of people underestimated our run in our RMR because they were thinking, yeah, we look shaky and all this stuff, but all we did so far, we lost against teams which are in the legend stage. So if you think about that, it's not that bad, even with a stand-in situation. So like coming from that point of view, I totally understand why no one had us in the pick'ems. But also, like, it's very important to understand how we lost. After one loss, like, sometimes greater things comes, and then we had also a little bit luck with the comeback against Fura. We must admit that as well. And then after that, we knew everything is possible. And then we had were lucky that Greyhound won against Cloud9 and all the stuff. So it went our way this time. But as I said, in RMR we had a very strong opponent, so it balances out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you can't pick who you play, obviously. And you yourself have competed for so long. I still call the divider smoke on Overpass, I still call it the Gob B smoke, okay? Nice.
So far it's the best major ever, at least where I attended. In that kind of case, the energy of the fans is definitely coming into the games as well.
Thank you so much for your time, Gob.
No problem.
All right.
All right, well, we've stumbled into the single interview set, and I've found a Mr. Doinko, officially known as Dinko. What are you doing today, mate?
I'm doing some interviews with some of the players, getting their thoughts coming into the event, see how they're doing.
Now, hold up, just before, Frank, this is the content connoisseur. How's Dinko doing?
Gloriously so far.
That's what you have to say.
Yeah. Well, no. Well,
I see you trying to get out of here.
I came in. Yeah, I know. But I came in to check on him, and he says it's going swimmingly. So.
How's the day going? Are you stressed?
I'm not stressed. Not with the boys and the girls all on the sets. We're all good.
Okay. Cool. All right. I'll let you run away now.
Thank you.
Thanks, Frank. All right. We had any fun answers come through yet?
Yeah, I mean, I found out that Ster's middle name is Ster, so that's pretty good.
I like the pronunciation.
Yeah, so yeah, got to go full force in that one. Had Magics here. The chairs were okay. No, every chair was fine. Did have to warn him, but he gave me some good interviews. It was great. I did Magic's first ever English interview like years ago. And so it was pretty awesome to sit down with him again. He's much, much better now.
Who's up next?
Sampaias, who just kind of arrived here perfectly.
Hi, Sampaias.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm fine.
You're going to do an interview with this guy?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. What do you like him?
Well, I will talk in Spanish. Let's see.
Oh, shit. All right. How's the Espanol?
Bad.
All right. Well, thank you. Enjoy, boys. See ya. All right, we're in the crowd here. It's one of the Tamer days so far, and I found someone wearing some Spirit merchandise.
I work for Spirit. I arrived yesterday here to shoot some vlogs with the team and just see how awesome the crowd is. And it is awesome. And if it's one of the tamer days, I think I'm looking forward to what's next, you know.
Yeah, it might get a little bit louder later today. We got 9Z taking on Fnatic. Do you think your boys are going to be fan favorites here at all?
I mean, I heard that Batsy was on one of the cars in the metro, so and that was like a fan vote. So I guess he has some fans here, which is awesome to see. And yeah, we're looking forward to channeling that energy.
Well, we got OG playing right now, and they have Dexter in the team, a former Spirit player. Are you barracking for him or against him?
Well, actually, for me personally, Jabri is my favorite player of all time, so I'm conflicted.
Well, he needs to win right now to continue the streak of making the Legend stage at every single major. So keep the fingers and toes crossed for Dupree. Patsy, top 4 last major. Does that mean you're winning this one?
Yes, for sure.
Oh, nice. I like the confidence, mate. You got in yesterday, right? I was in the shuttle with you. How was the travel?
It was very hard, but we done it. So now we're waiting, excited for games.
What's the mood like in the camp? You got Wonderful here this time. You guys have been looking better and better. What's the expectation for Spirit at this major?
I think minimum playoff.
Minimum playoff?
In my mind. We can do it for sure, but after we can play more and more, and tournament will show us.
Nice. Bad News Eagles is the opening game, right? How do you feel about that?
It's good because we were playing with them already on Airmare, but now it's best of fun, so we will watch.
We'll watch. All right, nice. Thank you very much for your time.
So it's a big production with a big stage and a lot of moving pieces, a lot of employees here to make this event as pristine as possible, the most epic event in history. And yet there are teams like BNE that have no organization, that have not only qualified to the event, which is already impressive, but have made it to the Legend stage without dropping a series. They have 3-0'd, exceeded everybody's expectations, and now, I mean, they have to be considered a considerable threat. We need BNE to get signed. What more do they have to do? You guys did so well, 3-0, and I want to know, like, did you expect to get 3-0? I think you had the expectation to make it through challengers. Did you expect to get 3-0?
Yes, we did expect it actually. Like, we knew we can do it because, like, right now, most of the teams are in a bad period, I would say. Like, it's not like in Antwerp where you had like 2 clear favorites, Navi and FaZe. Here is like anyone can beat anyone. Like we saw Gamer Legion beat Vitality. Like we expected us to go 3-0 actually.
You're very good at improvising and kind of mid-rounding. And is that something that you talk about instead of playing rounds very standard? You try to find a different way of looking at it?
Like depends if we lose a part of map. We always try to get like the other part of the map so we don't lose both, because if you lose both of the part of the maps, you can get split so easily and lose the round. So we try to do our best, like to talk mid round. Like depends on what kind of infos we have, or if we have like safe infos, if we know where they are, we always like try to punish them, like with 2 or 3.
If they nerf the M4A1S, would you be sad?
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time, man. I appreciate that.
Chilling?
Whatever I want.
Well, you already qualified, right? So, yeah? What?
Some capoeira.
Okay, so you're going to have some fun.
Yes.
You doing it against one another, with one? What's it?
That's a surprise.
Okay, all right, we'll have to see in the content. Have some fun. Jeez, look at it, it's a horde of people. Hey, man.
Hello, man.
How you doing?
I'm good. It's about to dance, you know.
You, a dance? Show me your moves. All right, all right, all right. Pardon the pun, but there's a truckload of food trucks around here. Apparently, this is a very important part of the event. No joke. That's what I've been informed by the locals. And as you can see here, some people are enjoying refueling between the matches. We've got 9Z versus Fnatic going on a little bit later today. And I'm sure they want some second Brazilian representation with Zach and NQZ making it through. But talking about fan favorites, NIP, they're a team who have been, well, constantly on this rebuild, avoiding this device drama. The introduction of Alexi into the squad, back to English with the team. Brolin's there now, Hampus to a star rifler, Rez Orping, and Essetag doing whatever the squad requires. It's a bit curious, but they made it to the Legend stage with ease. We haven't seen them play a lot of Counter-Strike, and they're living in this black box. So what's been going on with NIP between the RMR and the Legend stage? Look, I need to know, how's the team doing?
Team is great. Is doing great. Like, we've been doing some content. Now we're just waiting to get the next stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing some hero shots and all that.
All right. All right. Hampus. Star Rifler Hampus. Sorry, I forgot. I need to address him by his correct name. Are you still shooting everybody in the head?
Yeah, I do. Nice jacket.
Thank you. Nice jersey.
Thank you. Thanks.
How's the AWP going?
How is it going, Hampus? I should off, but he's pretty good.
Any comments?
We'll see.
Just we'll see?
We'll see.
We're not thinking. Okay, all right, fine. Well, here's the thing. You don't even really need to AWP. You could just rifle.
True. That's what I'm saying.
Is that the strategy? Alexi goes, yo, Rez, drop the AWP. Just shoot him in the head with the rifle, mate.
That works. If it works, just go it.
Did he bring the patented strategy of going A and going B?
Yes, of course. That's the most famous one.
Alexi, have you added anything to the strat book, or is it still just going A and B?
It's still that.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
So DJL hasn't helped out with anything. Still no diversity there.
I mean, he tried, but
it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's a bit complex, I would say. He really likes to go A, go B stuff.
You can't influence him here at all?
Impossible.
And, well, I guess we got everyone's favorite Essa tag right here. When he drops the AWP because he dies, do you pick it up immediately?
No. Actually, I've embodied the spirit of Res, shooting heads. So I am basically just a rifle of Res now.
Well, that's the thing, right? You do whatever the team needs.
Yeah.
So what does the team need at this moment from Essa tag?
You need a Res on the rifle. So that's just me. Been popping off in name maps. Trust.
Brolin, is this true? I see you giggling. Is he popping off?
yes, of course.
So are you guys going to win?
I mean, yeah, of course.
Of course, that's confident. I like it. That's a bit... Look, I like to talk to the coach when I want to get the synopsis here of the team. Seriously, how are the boys doing?
Good. We're gonna win, just like Brolin said.
So this is called method acting, right? POV, you're a pro player. This is where it all goes down in the group stage if you're not on stage. And of course, if you were watching what just happened, Fnatic took down 9Z. It was an expected result for some. I think if you ask the fans here, of course, they didn't feel that way, but an amazing outcome regardless. Fnatic, a roster that doesn't have any of the legends besides Crims that they had 5 or 6 or even 7 years ago, and now after missing 3 majors in a row, made it to the Legends stage. It feels like a natural fit, Fnatic and Legends. So now that they're in Legends, can Mezzi, the young IGL hailing from the UK, call his way out of the toughest stage of an event in his history as a player? Looks like we've got a wild Fnatic. Let's see if we can catch a Mezzi. Okay. Mezzi, media day starts now. All right, here we are. Mezzi, why do you walk with right click?
It's the most optimal. Makes sense.
What are you scoping with?
Mouse 5. One of the side buttons, I don't know. Mouse 4 or 5.
Could you be a tier 1 opera with those vines?
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Okay. Mezzi, you've gotten through the challenger stage. It's Fnatic's first major in 3 majors, and of course you're part of a kind of a new lineup. So you don't really have that history with Fnatic, but like when it comes to the fans talking about the team, do you kind of feel the history? Do the fans kind of remind you of the old Fnatic?
Yeah, I think especially for even me as well, like when I first started playing CSGO and watching, that was when Fnatic were at like the best as well. So I think even for me, it's like bringing them back here, it's obviously, it means a lot.
After the Outsiders game, 16-1 overpass, I've been seeing some people reference this as a reason that you should be 0-3 in pick'ems. Any messages to the haters?
Outsiders are a tough team to play against. I think they're definitely different to most teams, and they get a lot of maybe a bit of backlash for it, but they're really hard to play against. So I think that was just a bit of an off game for us, and I mean we played 2 or 3 of the top 15 teams and did really well against them. So I think that was just an off game for us.
Yeah, looking at like your previous matches, even if whoever you played, you always got a map pretty much. So now that you're in Legend stage, you got to get rematches versus some of these guys. Is this something that you think? Is this something? Are you more scared, or are you more excited or scared to play against some of these teams again?
Definitely excited. I think the thing for us is that when we play the better teams, we always rise to the occasion and play definitely to a better level. And I think this event we've had some struggles, but I think when it gets to the moment we play those better teams, we always play a lot better. So I think for us, when we're playing in this stage, playing against NIP first game, it's always going to be obviously a tough game, but I think we always feel confident against them, and we know we have the potential and the skill level to match them.
If you make it to the championship stage, can you call yourself the best IGL in the UK?
I would hope so, yeah. Maybe Mighty Max might have something to say about it, but yeah, I would hope so.
Okay. Thank you for your time, Izzy.
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Well, as far as 2022 goes, Na'Vi have been runners-up to face several times. But when you have a player in the team like Simple, who's had some graffiti moments of his own at majors, anything's possible. Na'Vi are one of the favorites of this event. They're definitely in the running to lift that trophy. And, well, there's a little bit of a storyline as well around SDY, and if he's going to continue with the team, his fate might be hanging in the balance with Na'Vi's result here in Rio. There's a lot on the line for Na'Vi, and if they can return themselves back to the top at the tail end of the year, there's going to be a real discussion for Na'Vi going into 2023. Here with the GOAT himself on Media Day. You've been taking some pictures, mate. Now, look, were you watching the Challenger stage from home?
Yes, all games.
All games?
Yeah.
Who's looking strong?
I think it's still like Cloud9 and Vitality. Even if they had 0-2, that was in best of 1 games, but in best of 3, it was some shaky games by Cloud9, and they did a lot of comebacks, but Vitality looked more stronger than Cloud9. Still, they're favorites.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I think that's the case too. Like you have the best of 1 teams, you know, they do their best, and then you get the best of 3s, and that's where the good teams really show up. Now, when you're doing your media, what type of image do you want to give off to the world? You want to give like I'm super serious, simple. You want to show like I'm a monster. What do you think when it's going through your head when you're doing the media?
I don't know. Depends what they tell us to do. But usually just trying to be serious, you know. But sometimes I like when we have some fun on media, when we do some interesting positions, you know. That's cool.
Yeah, I think looking like a badass motherfucker is probably like towards the top of the list, right? Brazil, best player in the world. You think you're going to be a fan favorite?
Yes, I hope and I believe that Brazilian crowd gonna cheer for our organization.
Sweet. And is this going to be Na'Vi and your second major? How are you feeling confident coming into this?
Yes, we had a really good preparation. We just need to see how it's gonna work on officials, and we need to get like Na'Vi likes to get better form during the tournament. So hopefully we'll get even better form.
How do you feel about the opening game against Vitality?
Oh, it's gonna be 50-50 because they don't know what to expect from us, and we saw a lot of games, but they already had time to play on this stage and backstage, so it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I like the first games, best of 1, it's like face Cloud9 and Na'Vi Vitality, because on the next stages you cannot meet them, you know, not stages, like next games, and maybe the next game is gonna be like best of 3 for qualify to champion stage. So it's great that like all teams need to qualify, all decent teams need to qualify for a champion stage.
You want the hardest run possible? You want to beat all the best?
Yes, yes. I mean, always when we have like the strongest bracket, like I remember we had like FaZe after Cloud9 and G2 back at the days. It feels more nice when you beat the strong opponents and win tournament than when you have some easy bracket and in final you have a strong team.
Sweet. All right, thanks, Simple. Thanks for your time, and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, here with SDY. How do we make you laugh?
Some nature stuff, like if you've been natural with me and making jokes like by the flow, I love it.
All right, so we need to work on our general rapport with each other. I'll ask you a serious question, though. Is this the most important event in your entire career?
Yeah, of course it is. It's my first Legend Stage major in life, so.
So, I guess there's a little bit of pressure, huh?
Nah, zero pressure.
Zero pressure?
Zero pressure.
How come?
Because we have a really good bootcamp, good practice, and we are ready for this tournament.
Do you want to tell me about the bootcamp? How long? Where were you at?
We were in Netherlands, Utrecht, for 12 days, and it was nice.
12-day bootcamp, so feeling ready to go. Who do you think is going to be your hardest opponent here?
As always, FaZe probably.
You want another FaZe Na'Vi final?
I wish for.
All right, let's hope for that. Thank you for your time. I'm here with Tonya from Na'Vi. I see you have the new jersey on.
Yes, it is. It's our new Na'Vi Rio de Janeiro, Brazil major jersey. So we have the flag here, we have the obvious new colors, all for to support the fans and to ask them to support our team.
You have Simple, though. You think the fans are going to go wild for him?
Yeah, this is a big reason to support Na'Vi. But I don't know, we just love Brazilian fans for a long time. We've been waiting for this major for a long time. And yeah, we wanted to make something for them. I don't know, it's cute. It will be on the arena so everyone can buy it. So, yeah.
Well, Cloud9 have made it happen. They did the run. They beat Gamer Legion in the end. It wasn't easy. And for a lot of the people who have been watching all of their games so far, it didn't feel like it was going to happen for sure. I think the main thing was Shiro, first of all, 146 kills in the first 4 maps. And it felt like even with him playing at that level, there was still no chance. There was no help for him. What happened to the simple and electronic duo of Shiro and Axel? Well, Axel came through when they needed him the most, and they were able to qualify to Legends. The expectations are still for them to make it to the playoffs, and for players like Hobbit to make it into the grand finals, you know, to be able to beat the teams that they know are going to be there. But there are so many strong teams at the moment, and the floor is so high in CS at the moment that they can't just expect that it's going to fall into their laps. So they've completed the first stage. Now it's time for Legends. I'm here with Nafni.
Wo bleibt ihr denn? Hey, Rob, trinkst du da etwa meine Müllermilch? Sorry, dude.
Another feeling, if we will compare it with Dallas.
How much was Shiro deathmatching before your games?
He don't playing as much as far as I remember.
What was he doing? Watching demos?
Actually, better to ask him. Maybe he's watching anime. Who knows?
Oh yeah, it could be anime knowing Shiro. So now we're in Legends. You're one of the 4 teams I would say have a chance to win this event. You know, make the run all the way. Do you try to set expectations for yourself?
I think like this tournament can win not a win 4, maybe 16.
Say again?
I mean, even everything can win this tournament because for now, as I can see, we don't have like clear favorite. We can say like it could be Navi, maybe FaZe, but let's say that FaZe was not so good at RMR. Navi not so consistent as before. We are not very, let's say, we don't do clear work at challengers. So same as Vitality. So as I can see, we don't have like clear favorite right now, and everyone can win this tournament.
One last one for you. In the Legends stage, you're going to be playing more teams that you're used to playing against that are obviously higher tier competition, but you have more experience versus. Do you look forward to that, or do you feel like is it a different challenge from the Challenger stage?
I mean, it's different challenge for sure, and as always, we'll try to do our best, and that's it.
We have to know what your warm-up routine is.
I don't know.
Aimbots? Aimbot?
Aimbots, yeah.
Aimbots,
yeah.
How long?
I think 1 hour. 1 hour in the.
In the morning?
In the morning or in official match.
Okay. And only with the op?
No, not only op, Deagle, AK, M4 and op. Yes. Only 1 hour.
Only 1 hour. Okay, that's it. Only 1 hour.
The bell tolls for Cologne. This cathedral, a cathedral that is stacked from the earth to the heavens with the greatest of all the fans, the most passionate.
this series, and we could see that some of his mid-presence on Ancient was propelling Liquid, both on the T and the CT side, actually.
Very clear. That I praise EG, but in terms of in the server, round 3, they get no praise. They're all dead. Elige, he's got that double. Automatic spots too, but he runs back out fully blind. And so Team Liquid, that's 18. Elige with a multi-kill, comfortable inside that B site.
Oh, come on. Casually taking down 3, like making it look easy. Yes, it's Deagles, but wow. But still Elige surviving in the pit. They're going to try and stick the plant, defusal, excuse me, and he's going to spam through, and he connects on both. Elige shutting down Complexity, and he gets the last one too. You have got to be kidding me, Elige. A 4K on the round comes out with the most heroic of efforts to make that one a victory.
Team Liquid, but remember, Nealon is still coming closer, and everybody else inside this site is dying for free. They put up nothing for Nealon to try and work with.
Meanwhile, Liquid is split up to provide 2 looks. Now he's expecting that. It doesn't matter. Elige takes both, 1 bullet.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it looks sick. It's actually way heavier than you expect. So yeah, this is super sick.
Our second round of matchups set to ensue as we return with more action here at the Intel Extreme Masters Rio Major. And to kick off this next round of matches, a Team Liquid who were absolutely washed out at the hands of Mouse earlier on today, taking on Sprout, who were bested by the German Big Brothers earlier on today. Both these teams clashing in this 0-1 matchup as everything is going on the line, potentially a spot in those elimination games heading into tomorrow. Of course, we do need to check in with the guys who will be guiding you through all the action coming into today. It's going to be Chad and Alex on our later set of games. Gentlemen, I'm very curious though, how are your pick'ems looking after that first round of games?
Ooh, a very good question that I throw immediately to Chad in terms of pick'ems. How are they looking after that first round?
Lucky it's only the first round, right? My 0-3 and 3-0. The 3-0 is still alive. I picked Spirit, right?
And you definitely didn't do any funny business because Valve were late on the close, right?
No. And you can't prove it, so good luck with that.
Prove it,
or we'll do the musical.
We'll do the musical.
We'll do the
yeah.
musical.
No.
A 5, 6. No, we're also trying not to fall off the stage and have our own Shara moment here. So we're holding on. We're holding on.
Very good reference. Yeah, it's got Sprout Liquid, of course, getting ready on the stage. Super hyped. We've got some banging matches ahead of us on both streams. I mean, like, there's so many that, I mean, this is not an A and a B. This is just the streams.
Yeah.
I mean, so many good games.
The thing I'm upset about is the fact that we're going to be covering Vitality versus FaZe while Na'Vi versus Cloud9 is on, and I won't be able to watch both at the same time.
Yeah, maybe you can get 2 screens and bounce your eyes. I recommend you do if you can. Of course, we've got so much good Counter-Strike that you do need almost 2 monitors to fully enjoy the event. We're going to be enjoying the event with the headphones on our heads. We're going to be casting the next 4 best of ones, and it should be a damn good day in the office. What do you reckon?
Yeah, looking forward to it. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, we've got Furia as well in front of that home crowd, and the crowd has already been warm today. They was cheering for FaZe, they were cheering for Vitality. That Na'Vi Vitality game really did deliver, and I'm sure there's a whole lot more fun ahead of us, and we'll leave them to play us out as we get it back to the desk.
I love how absolutely on cue. The crowd starts in those chants again. The atmosphere has been absolutely electric. Cannot wait to be kicking off this second round of matchups. Joining me up here on the desk, we switch things up a little bit. I've got Alan and Peacemaker joining me up here. Gentlemen, just off the bat, any of the biggest surprises for you coming out of that first round of matchups?
I mean, we can talk about this one in particular. Liquid losing 2-16 versus Mouse, getting absolutely battered, never having a foothold in the game. Yakinda never looking like the force we've seen in previous tournaments. That has to be the most surprising result of those first round games.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that even though, Navi ended up winning that game against Vitality, I was surprised with this performance that Vitality pulled, Coming from the challenger stage, like Vitality hasn't been a team that really impressed me that much, showed a lot of weaknesses on their challenger stage, and being competitive like that against Navi, that did surprise me, even though they lost.
Yeah, the fact that, as you said, just making it so close, going into so many overtimes to be kicking this one off, of course, a Vitality, that does spell almost disaster because they are going to be going up against FaZe, no less, in their second round game. But keeping it on topic, as you brought up, Alan, obviously Liquid finding themselves here after just being absolutely decimated at the hands of Mouse. I did not expect so much momentum to be coming out of the Mouse camp straight off that challenger stage.
I mean, it's unbelievable, of course, Mouse. They looked incredible in the challenger stage, but now we're in the Legends. Now we're amping up these sort of matchups, and across the board, nobody really had a good game. Nobody stepped up. Nobody took that point man sort of role, and we expect that time and time again to be Yakinda. And unfortunately, I'm sorry to put a lot of weight on this guy, but he demands that space from his team, and we didn't see any of it in the Mouse game. So across the board, there's so much work to do, and I think we have to look at Yakinda going into this one.
Yeah, I think that, ever since Yakinda joined the team, I think it's pretty safe to say that Liquid did improve, right? But it's been relatively not a lot of months ever since he joined. They still have to compete a lot of more events. They come from a region where, being quite honest, in North America, it is really hard to practice. So nowadays at least, so you have to be in Europe if you want to get some quality practice. I don't know actually if Liquid was doing a major boot camp, a massive boot camp prior to this. I hope they did, because the teams they're coming up against in the stage, well, I mean, it's going to be really difficult, right? And I think that, it's the only disaster for me in this whole thing about them losing to Mouse was that they lost in a map which should be comfortable map for Liquid, and losing in that fashion. I have concerns if moving forward they're gonna be confident on playing that map again, especially in the best of ones, or if they're gonna be taken out of the comfortable zone and end up playing a map which they're not necessarily that comfortable.
And I think that is a really apt point, particularly when we're looking at Yakinda, because we know him as being, maybe one of the new wave kings of Banana. So much aggression normally for him going down there. He just wasn't able to bolster up anything. Sure, we didn't really see too much of them in that second half, but the fact that he really couldn't give too much up to the side of Mouse, that was super surprising.
No, they started off on the CD side. They only got 2 rounds, and Yakinda, actually, if we're looking back towards the Outsiders days, he has changed a few spots, but even so, particularly on the T side, he is the best Banana player in the world. Yeah. It's as simple as that. He's unbelievable at opening up that area on the map, and because he plays the mirrored spot on the CT side, he has such a good understanding of how to get openings, how to get aggressive, and it was just baffling. It was honestly baffling in that game why he couldn't find openings. So, yeah, bizarre one, and surely something has to change. Surely they've watched that back and said, this can't happen again.
Yeah, well, Alan, you might be baffled after that one. Hopefully, Yakinda has given us some answers. Heck, we did have a catch up with him ahead of this series.
So Yakinda, relatively not so long ago, you got to play against Mouse and you won against them with a 2-0 in EPL. But right now, we saw something pretty shocking on the stage. What happened?
We were just not focused enough. We rewatched the game already. We know our mistakes and we know why we lost. We understand that we need more from us. We need a better performance, and we're going to give it all to qualify for playoffs and to go in even further.
But what exactly caused you losing the focus? Is the fact that you were on a big stage in front of the crowd?
I'm not sure. It could be different. It could be different problems. It's all players' personal things on what's not allowing them to focus. And for every player, it could be different things. So it could be the crowd. It could be a different continent. It could be 3 days without playing before. So it could be multiple things.
Well, your next opponent is going to be Sprout. Did you actually get to prac against them while you were in Europe?
Yeah, we played a couple times against them. I don't necessarily remember the scores, but if they're here, they deserve it. So we're gonna give it our best.
All right then. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Heku, for catching on with Yakinda ahead of this one. Couple of things I want to bounce off. Obviously, we get our answer. They were in a European boot camp, Peacemaker, but just the kind of morale from Yakinda in that. I'm so used to him being the really energetic, lively force. He seemed kind of deflated in that one.
Yeah, definitely, and I could feel the emotional side of it as well. And for him, like even though he's not the IGL in that team, like, but ever since he joined, like it's been said multiple times in interviews, like the importance of him in the team, like the amount of changes they made ever since he joined, right? Even like the way they're playing and everything. So I think that, you know, he has some kind of like a leadership role within the team. And I think it's important for him, even though he's still young, you know, and he does have a lot of experience. He comes from a country and like a school of CS, completely different compared to his teammates. So like I think it's important for him to stay calm, collected, and share this experience with them, you know, and let them know like that, you know, it's all right. We played our first game. We played against a very strong team. You know, Mouseport, by any means, it is a complete disaster to lose to a Mousesports after what they were able to deliver at the Challenger stage. So I think, you know, now they're facing up against the Sprout, a relatively young team, not as experienced as Mouse. So they should be all good if they play out of their comfortable zone. Don't overthink it too much, you know, and they're able to reset. Because like this first day of the event, that's the hardest one. Because once you lose a game, you don't have that many hours to, you know, bounce back from it, think about what happened and rewatch the game and go through stuff. So,
yeah, it certainly is. I think that's a very apt point. We are going to continue to keep Liquid and, in fact, Inferno under the microscope because we've got Anders on the sidelines. I have a little segment for us. What are we looking at in this one?
You guys seem so worried about Liquid. I myself, I'm not that worried. I think they're going to bounce back in this game, but we didn't really get to see Yakinder in that first map, and we're going to be looking at him in this one. Why he's so dangerous, you guys know what to look for. So this is a game that they played during ESL Pro League Season 16 against Mousesports on Inferno. And I'm actually going to pause it fairly quickly. So what happens at the start of this round is Nitro dies back here. Yakinder gets into this position behind the half wall. And most players, I would say 95% of all players in the world, if presented this opportunity, especially with the CTs not knowing what's happening, would swing. They would fight this, especially with the flashes coming from the teammate. They'd go for this fight. But Yakinder, he's so smart, and he has this incredible trigger discipline. He's waiting, and eventually, when Sershin and Frozen start to get back into it, you could see they make a little bit of noise running, and that's enough for him to know. He knows that now they're back in the bomb site. He walks in, and you notice there's no smokes, no flashbangs, no molotovs, no nothing. This is just a cold read. Yakinder on his own, calling for the entire team, I'm absolutely sure, and he's going to get the opening on Frozen, and he's going to follow it up double opening. This kind of play is absolutely world-class. This is what makes him dangerous, and I hope we see something like that now. The other thing that I wanted to follow up with is this really cool round that they've been doing for a bit now, where they try to go for this really quick wrap or on quad side and just hit this A-bomb side. And normally when you go this route, what you try and do is you smoke all the way back here, or maybe all the way back here and over here. You have these deep smokes that take a long time to land, but instead, what they've been doing recently is they do this smoke right in front. This is round number 8 in this game, and they do it, they execute it super quick, and immediately afterwards, nearly, in round number 10, they actually do the exact same thing. So it's really nice to see. You're going to see the smoke landing right here. This is the one to watch for. The follow-up smoke that lands right here, which normally is Molotov, but instead it's going to be a smoke, and that means you can't do the one-way. You're absolutely screwed, and especially for JDC, he has nowhere to go. If he exits that corner, he's going to run into NAF. So it's a really fast execute. It's absolutely wonderful to see, and that's really something to look forward to at home. So I know you guys are a little bit down on Liquid, but I'm definitely not.
I like the positivity coming out of the Antlers camp over there. I don't know, I want to reflect that question over to you guys. How much stock are you taking in this first Liquid result that we've seen? Because remember, they did make it straight through to the Challenger stage from the RMR. Haven't seen, the Legend stage rather. Didn't see anything from them in the Challenger stage.
I think that's the concern, is we hear this from a few teams. For some people really do like playing that Challenger stage and just having 4 days to get used to the environment, used to the time zones, used to the travel, all of these different aspects. So that's my only concern, is them as people. Their Counter-Strike is amazing. If they play their standard Counter-Strike, they will body Sprout. Sprout will get 5 rounds maximum if Liquid are coming in full form. But are Liquid, has the travel got to them? Are they jet-lagged? Are they not used to the environment? These are all the questions that I need to see answered in this game.
Yeah, I think there's no other team better than Liquid to kind of express this thing about, I do feel like every time they go into majors, it's always like this. They have a slow start, something wrong happens, and then suddenly they just bounce back and make it happen somehow. So like, it's not a surprise for me that this happened, And as I said, like being in the NA region right now and, traveling around the world, it can take a toll on the players as well. Being in Brazil, they should be getting a lot of support as well. Elige speaks Portuguese, for example. So they should be getting a lot of support from the crowd right now in their game, I would assume. So I think, they have everything in their favor in order to, as you said, just demolish Sprout completely in this game.
Just to update the viewers at home, we are experiencing a little bit of a tech issue going on, but the guys on stage are working to get that resolved ASAP. But that does mean, gentlemen, we can take some more time to be dissecting this one. We focused a lot on Yakinda from the side of Liquid and kind of his lack of showing up earlier on today. But I don't want to just point the finger at him, because literally every single member across the board, nobody broke through a 0.7 rating on that first map. That's dire straits.
Yeah, Liquid. Of course, and maybe you need to look holistically at the whole team and say Nitro and Dabs behind them. Where were the pauses? Where was changing the game plan? Where was looking in different directions in this map? Because they're just running, you know, square peg, round hole sort of scenario, and nothing is working for them. So I think you have to look at them as an overall unit and just say, for whatever reasons, maybe their game plan was wrong, maybe their preparation was wrong. It was just wrong across the board, and they couldn't adapt during the game. So yeah, I think really maybe Nitro is the man we should be pointing the finger at.
Okay, would you agree, Peacemaker?
I would agree, and yeah, and I also think that, like I always have high standards for Oppers, you know, and I think that coming into that matchup, I mean, we could see that OCE wasn't really shining either, you know, like I think for him as an Opper, like he needs to be showing more, especially at the stage of the, you know, the tournament, the Legend stage, playing against those teams. Like I think I do have high expectations out of him, you know, I think he has shown potential and all of that, but you know, it hasn't delivered so far in this first matchup. I hope he can deliver in the second one, but it is important, you know, because like Nitro is the IGL, right? And you cannot expect, at least in my eyes, like it is really hard to expect Nitro to be like super impactful and firepower-wise. Like it has never been a strong asset for Nitro. I've coached him. Like I know the importance of him as an IGL for the team in terms of leadership, in terms of controlling the things. But you know, he needs his teammates to step up their game in order for them to win against some of these opponents.
I do want to throw Elige's name into the spotlight, because we came in with a beautiful piece of content, really praising him, obviously previous DHL MVP as well. Again, just adding to the list of Liquid names that really didn't show up earlier today. And he is always somebody that we look at to be a consistent force, particularly since Yakinda has entered the team. It's, you know, allowed him to have a little bit more space. I feel like that kind of double-pronged attack has been really solid for Elige.
Yeah, they actually spoke about it in an interview. So basically, when Yakinda comes into this team, Yakinda takes a lot of the aggressive entry roles, middle of the map, and that traditionally is all of Elige's spots. So Elige moves to more late round lurking positions, and for me personally, I thought that might be a mistake, but it's actually borne out to be a very good move. Elige seems very confident in playing these late round situations, and maybe is a better lurking player than any of us anticipated. So he has had a very strong few months, but maybe in that game, didn't quite show up.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, Elige has always been pretty much the star player for that team. I mean, he's proven to be one of the best players in the North American region, undoubtedly, but like, you know, even the world. Like, I think he's crucial for this team. He's been, I mean, in the team for such a long time.
Yeah.
Also has a pretty, you know, important role in the team in terms of like, you know, leadership-wise. Like, I mean, at least when I coached this team, right? Like, it was mainly Nitro and Elige, like, always like deciding the stuff, you know, like Elige has a very strong opinion about things. Like he's very smart. He's a guy that studies the game a lot. He prepares a lot for his game. Like needs to be on his comfortable zone completely in order to deliver. So like, you know, now, even now joining Yakindar and Nitro, like they have a strong core with people that likes to voice their opinions, that likes to be impactful in the game, that likes to control things. And you know, I mean, it is pretty unfortunate to see that Elige hasn't been able to perform in the first game. But I wouldn't be surprised if he delivers in this next one. So
yeah,
he's just such a good player.
They do say lightning doesn't strike twice, or maybe the lack of lightning not striking twice. I don't know. There's an analogy to be made there. I should have been wearing my glasses because the map veto did play out on our screens, and it is going to be Inferno coming up again. So Peacemaker not too scared for Liquid to be picking into, or be ending up on this ground rather again. Yeah,
true, and I think it's kind of expected. You know, both of them likes Inferno, and I think that's good for Liquid. You know, that they're deciding to play Inferno, that they're not scared of playing it. And I mean, Sprout also does like Inferno. So, I mean, this could be a close one. But, you know, experience-wise, just in general, like, you know, for the Sprout team, I think it is hard to compare them to Liquid or any of the teams here, right? They are relatively young. Like, they, you know, the core of the team is Danish, and then they have a guy from German and then a guy from Romania, right? I don't know how's the culture in the team, like if the synergy and everything. Like, we still haven't seen much from them in big events, at least, right? This is their first event. So, I mean, I just can't believe that the Liquid roster, with the experience they have, the players they have, that they would face, like, any challenge during this game at all. I don't know. What do you think, Alan?
I would say if there's an opportunity here for Sprout, it's Stair and Longs. They're by far and away the best players on this team. They're the young guns. They're the players that were brought in to be the skilled ones around the experienced names, around Slacks, around Refresh. Zyphon's even reasonably experienced, actually, versus some of these guys. So we're looking at them. I think Longs especially, he's more of a kind of an anchor and actually a lurking presence, but he has such monstrous impact. He's so good at this new role. I mean, I'm at least coining it like the aggressive lurking role, like the sort of Axel spots where you get a lot of space, but you go for frags and you love to take duels. And Longs is really very, very proficient in these positions. So he's the man to look out for. Stair as well has had good performances, of course. That's why Astralis expressed interest in a player like him. So if there's a window of opportunity, these guys probably need to be the best players on the server to beat Liquid here.
I'm gonna bring one thing about Slacks as well. You know, we had a couple practices back in not too long ago against Sprout online when I was coaching Imperial. And I have to say, like, this guy has been insane online in practices and stuff like that, at least the times we did. He was really, really good. And I think he still has to deliver on LAN. And I don't know, like, it is hard to judge, you know, like the amount of time he's been playing for that roster. Like, he's been in Sprout for almost 2 years from what I've seen, you know. So he's been in the roster for a long time, different iterations of the roster, should be comfortable as a team, you know, and I think that it's time to prove himself on LAN, on the big stage. But he has what it takes, you know. He's been very, very. He has impressed me a lot, at least online during the practices.
Yeah, certainly a staple part of that Sprout roster. I do want to contextualize kind of Sprout's journey, I guess, to get to this very stage, because we saw them with beating in the EU RMR, the RMR A, actually having some really, really solid results, which cemented themselves in this Legend stage spot. That's why we haven't seen any of them in that Challengers run. But then we look at the actual results at hand, and for me, actually the most impressive result is that loss versus FaZe, because it was so incredibly close. Some of the other names that they actually managed to take down, you know, most of them didn't make it to this very stage.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, that FaZe game is probably the biggest result for the organization. And they lost the series. The first two maps were overtime, but they just showed so much class and so much composure for a team in that position. And you got to think that's the biggest match of some of these guys' lives.
Yeah.
For Stair and Longs especially, they're not got a lot of LAN experience, especially against a team of FaZe's caliber that are going to be pushing them around the map so much. So, yes, that game was very impressive. You are correct to the other games. They got pretty favorable matches. Let's be honest. They got very favorable matchups. They were helped out by upsets elsewhere in the bracket. So maybe they weren't of the caliber to be in the Legend stage, but they were definitely good enough to be at this major, and they proved it against FaZe.
Yeah, no, they took advantage of, you know, a bracket that was favorable to them. There's no shame in doing that. I want to throw a question to your way, though, Peacemaker. Obviously, we see Refresh the man on our screen now, in-game leading for the side of Sprout. You worked with him on previous rosters. Mad Lions was the one we were talking about earlier. How do you feel about him kind of pivoting into this particular role?
Yeah, I mean, Refresh, he's I mean, he just transitioned to the IGL role, right? And I had experience coaching him back in the days in Mad Lions. The thing about Refresh is that, like, he's just very good at, like, controlling. He was very good at controlling the pieces around him when he was playing. Like, I don't think firepower has always been, like, a strong asset for him as a player. You know, he was very, like, you know, very good at, like, team-wise. He was very easy to deal with. And pretty much like selfless player, you know, didn't care about whatever role he had to do and if he needed to learn anything. Like, so, you know, I think it does make sense that he wanted. Like, at least I saw the interview when he joined this roster, right? It did feel like he was very excited about this opportunity. Now, coming from Heroic, after spending a long time in Heroic, definitely learned a lot of things. And, you know, I just love the Danish Counter-Strike scene in general, the school they have. I think they're very good, like, in terms of fundamentals in the game, the way they approach CS, it is very difficult. So for Refresh to take this leadership role in this team and taking, like, a relatively young and experienced players, I think it's nice, you know. What if it actually turns good for him and he proves himself as a good agile, you know? But it needs some time. It's gonna take a while until he performs, and we have seen that performance-wise, statistically speaking, like, his performance naturally dropped a little bit.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. When you transition and move completely roles like that.
And I like that Refresh was, you know, very candid in an interview after his departure from Heroic, saying actually he was really happy for that change to come in. He didn't feel, you know, super comfortable in those positions he was playing on the side of Heroic. He felt like he was given kind of a new lease of life coming into Sprout. But that does beg the question, Alan, Do Sprout have the potential to bring the hurt to Liquid? Are we going to see Liquid in the 0-2 bracket after this game?
The big question is the Liquid that played that mouse game going to be the same Liquid in this game?
Yeah.
My overriding hunch is no. I think Liquid, that was almost the perfect kick up the arse. That was get in the zone, 2 hours to reflect and refocus and get into this, and being Inferno again, I think you'll just see such a different game here. So Sprout will have chances to get rounds. Stare and Launch will win them rounds. They'll get openings. They'll create holes in that CT side. But I just feel like Sprout are not there yet in terms of being a comprehensive, flushed-out team. And I think that's where Liquid are at their strongest. Is their fundamentals, their team play are so strong. It's when they play individually, when they get overzealous, when even Yakindar tries to do too much himself, that's when they have problems. But here, ABC default Counter-Strike will probably wipe the floor with Sprout. Simple as that.
Yeah, agreed. And I also think that we could see from the interview with Yakindar that I could just feel that there was something wrong with probably the approach they had in the game. I don't think it was necessarily that they had a completely wrong game plan coming into this. They got outplayed completely. I think, at least I could feel from Yakindar that it was more probably the counts were not on point. People are not energetic as they should be. You know, as he said, multiple things made some of the players uncomfortable. And I think they definitely had some kind of a talk after that one. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a completely different style from Liquid in this matchup. You know, and as they should. They are the favorites. They are one of the best teams in the world. They deserve to be here for sure. And they have to be they need to play out of the comfortable zone for sure, but they have to, you know, be aggressive. They need to step up and they need to, you know, set the pace of the game. Because if they just play and respect Sprout too much and play too slow and let players, like you said, like Lounge, pop off, and then suddenly Slax starts playing well as an AWPer, and then, you know, things could go very bad for them. And but yeah, I expect them to change the pace for sure.
I think that is a really good point. I kind of want to turn it into sort of maybe a bite-sized chunk for the viewers who weren't tuned in for that MOUZ game earlier on today. Do you think, Alan, that they were giving MOUZ a bit too much respect? Could there have been more aggression to put out from the Liquid camp, or were there just other issues going on that were just made sure, you know, everything was on fire, they didn't even have time to focus on?
I think exactly what we heard from Yakindar earlier in that interview is it's just sloppy. It's just sloppy Counter-Strike. They weren't in the zone. The communication isn't there. And it's sort of the same deal that we had from Vitality when they're having kind of struggles in those early stages. Is there's so much power in just being good communicators, being on the same page, talking to each other, bringing ideas, and as soon as you close up and nobody's being vocal, nobody's saying I want to do this, everyone's being passive, that's when all the issues start to seep in. So I think that is this whole angle for Liquid of just being more fired up, more communicative, and then especially for Nitro and Yakindar in terms of the calling presences, just being mega vocal and decisive and just absolutely giving it to Sprout.
Yeah, singing from the same hymn sheet, of course, are crucial when you're coming into any series, but of course this is the major on the line for both of these teams, both in, unfortunately, a 0-1 position after their opening series. We're going to see if Liquid this time could bring the heat to Sprout on a map we saw them struggling earlier on. Alex Chad, is Lightning going to be striking twice?
Well, does Lightning strike twice? Only one way for us to find out is heading straight into game. A cutthroat best of one.
It can't get worse for Liquid. That's one of the positives.
Well, it could be a 16-1.
True.
It does have potential currently to still get worse. We'll get to find out live, though. A lot more action to unfold. The second half of the day, Legends stage, and indeed Legends are taken to the stage. Team Liquid up against Sprout. Defensive start for the underdog.
Oh, format B lane here. 2 towards Sandbag, longs to try and grab some aggro. Refreshes puffing up his chest towards mid. Would you be spotting deep down mid on your lonesome? Probably not, and that's exactly what he wants Team Liquid to assume here.
Yeah, it's a process of elimination as always. Refresh, look at this, he's so active. He wants them to really be warded off a mid, but they're not buying it. Elysian Nitro starting an adventure of their own. Yakindar to linger. And a 3-man setup of this second component of Banana. Yakindar will be scouting it out. It's about.
They're pushing.
Oh, when the aggression comes in, Yakindar's been waiting for this. Should get run down. Launch with a big find. And now, well, that's surely going to force a rotate. Yeah, the knee-jerk reaction is try and find Refresh. Oh, OC wins the duel. A-site open for business. And Stare with one back. Finishes the job. Refresh started. A 4-man versus 3 retake of this A-site.
2 flashes here on Stare to make this possible. They're going to come around the short side here. The flashes to enable these fights towards Pit.
No rush kit available for now on the back of Stare. Going through the apartments for a deep clear. It's Pit to be cleared. Graveyard a problem as well. Liquid have established their crossfires, but can they strike first? These are the flashes you were talking about. Nitro ahead of him. Big find. Dancing now. Naf takes an engagement successfully, and Team Liquid overcoming the number disadvantage. Zyphon and Stair scratching their heads, not allowed into the site. Zyphon giving it a good go. It's Elige though. On the clock, leaves Stair alone and indeed contemplating his decisions. Ooh, nothing to be celebrated for Sprout.
Well, you heard in the interview with Yakinda before, this matchup was about focus. Let's hope that Liquid are dialed in now, because Sprout, they're no slouches here. I know they're young faces, maybe faces that you're not too familiar with, but they're names that have definitely garnered a lot of traction in recent time. Good shot here from Elige to close this one down, and a force fight out for Sprout now. And there's the Yakinda we know and love. It's been quite timid.
Yeah, he's injected a whole new level to Team Liquid, and even on just like a personality out of server summary. Now look at Slacks, posted up early, doing the job. We saw Refresh posting up on the USP. Jiggles from OC, got to be careful though. Bomb is on his back, can't be taking any extra flak, and he is considering it. That's a big opener as well, jumping, plucked out of the half wall.
Against the Mag 7 as well. Oh, there's another one. Slacks falls here. So towards A, they'll trundle.
Yeah, well, with a Deagle headshot on Nav, trying to disrespect the smoke. Respect is gained only for a moment. Elige, perfect pre-aim, and he's just walking in. Refreshes next. 2 scratched off of the game, and now Lonks with nothing. Absolutely no options ahead of him. Just going to sit and watch as the round does transpire.
Yeah, it looks like Liquid are at least a little bit more decisive in some of their maneuvers here. Just the way that they're walking out, taking those duels. Yakinda in the corner off Lonks here towards Banana. Won't push too much. Yeah, it looks 17 years of age here. Back 7 in hand. The first shot will land. The Deagle, not too bad either. The headshot there into Yakinda. You might be able to save this here. You don't want to offer too much more up if you are Liquid. You've lost 2 individuals, and maybe you'll call it a day. You know he's contained towards this B-bomb site.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of 17-year-olds watching the games today. Never mind wearing a jersey in front of thousands of Brazilian fans.
They're still coming.
At the top 16 of Counter-Strike's major. Certainly something to be celebrated, an accolade he can be proud of, but let's see if they can push any further. They're up against Team Liquid as well. Not necessarily an easy scalp to take, although it did look easy for their first opponent. Question is do Liquid shake this off? Is it a slow start as Peacemaker was starting to frame it on the desk?
Yeah, and it's funny just to get blown out of the server in that fashion, starting on the CT side of about like Inferno,
really
right?
Weird.
Opening kills was something that they were really struggling with. I think it was 4 out of the total 18 that was available in that matchup. Yeah, 18. There was only 18 rounds to play. Liquid had 2 rounds against Mouse. I know Mouse are warmed up in this environment, but even still, you're expecting a little bit better out of them.
Yeah, that Challenger stage buff is real, but they've had a game now. It's a familiar environment for them now, and starting on the T side, perhaps all to their benefit.
Well, banana control here quite swiftly taken, and this is going to be a consistent factor here of Liquid's approach. Some of the difficult signs they will be having when we move into gun rounds is the fact that Stair and Lonks, the 2 highest rated players for Sprout on this map, are the B defenders. So that maybe is a positive, them being the young guns, right? If they buckle here under the pressure, this is the first major for 3 individuals here, Slacks, Lonks, and Stair. And this is their first stage match at a major. So when you start to pile all of that up, concerning.
I mean, there's a full drum line, you know, as you're sitting there trying to communicate. Yakinda on the cross should have him set, lovely set up, and now 2 on the Mag 7. Stair does voice concern, send them packing.
Alicia's committed with the bomb here.
Yeah, he has yet to round the corner. There's still a crossfire established, and they are coming in. They are walking into this. Stair, Molotov's out, doesn't really have the weapon at the range. Nice finish from the Flame, and it's Zyphon down. Elige has bailed them out again. 7 frags already, 3rd round of play, and now the bomb to be planted. Lonks, typically, as you said, the B player, but was dispatched with the armored Deeg, and hesitant from that plant. They don't want to be falling to any gimmicks in the fading smoke.
You say 7 kills already. In that matchup that we're highlighting here, Elige managed 11, and he was the top fragger. So the fact that he's chasing that total down very quickly here are positive signs for the North Americans. It has been somewhat costly. 2 casualties in back-to-back rounds here. A 3rd would be fantastic for Lonks here. As you can see, just cool, calm, and collected. We'll start the peer on out, and Single Bullet will not land. Fun fact with Lonks, if you didn't catch that behind-the-scenes content, his name is Lau, same as FNX, who was his favorite player, and he named himself after him. So the Lau, well, from their names, and the NX from FNX. So it's the respect being shown here on Brazilian soil.
Love that, love that.
Well, rifles are coming out. No AWP available for OC just yet. They could purchase it if they'd like, but operating with 5 rifles here on Team Liquid. On the other side, Slacks.
This is where I want to keep tabs on Slacks. He's got his signature weapon out, yet to frag. First big stage game. You know, you want to prove to yourself that your opening moves and your aggressive second mid peaks can pay off. Does think better of it just before the potential was realized.
Love the timing there of Refresh deploying that incendiary towards the balcony. They know that the T's throw one for the boiler cross, then he times his as it's fading, which is going to buy you time on the default. So Nap aware of that and expecting to linger like this. Refresh catches the timing, spamming, not on my watch.
Yeah, Nap feeling a bit foolish after that one, a fully unloaded mag as he goes down on bridge.
But that incendiary enabled that play, right? So those details something Liquid is going to have to keep in mind, but don't worry, if your Kinder's finding you through a smoke, dead.
Yeah, he's going to be staring at his screen in frustration. Suddenly, immediately, equalized. Kinder blind, still finds it. Liege with the pressure, smoke. He will lock off Slacks' info.
Oh, gap in that.
Yeah, he's ahead of this. Watch out, it's all on Launx. Does pass the test. Nitro to trade, needs it, does deliver, and maintains control of this B site now. Calling it clear, calling it clear! As he takes down Slacks, clean through the smoke, takes a leaf straight out of Kinder's book. 2 frags through smokes, round done.
Yeah, and you check this out. Leech hasn't moved. He's still in the chicken pit. So in terms of any pressure on Banana, they can start piecing this together. Might be the save. And Elige is starting to search and punish here before they can hold on to these goodies. Refresh towards Long.
I mean, how do you, hype the boys up after a round loss like this one? It's the first gunny. You've just taken 3 on the chin. And you end up getting shot through the smoke cleanly on 2 of your boys.
Oh, Elige might catch him here.
Yeah, Refresh. An interesting storyline, taking that leadership burden after departing Heroic, something that I think is definitely an interesting project.
This volley's going to land here, Alex. He's going to flush him wide. He's going to have to take the fight. He's going to have to take the fight.
It's perfect. And he does go down. Elige farming. The indomitable Elige, as it currently stands, immortal, 9-0. Yet to feel the cold embrace of death.
I want to return to what you're saying about the death through the smoke, right, and how you're meant to operate with that happening, right? Here's the issue. If this was a best of 3, it's easy to chalk up and go, yeah, that happened, guys. But in this environment, you're still going to go, yeah, I just got spammed through a smoke, but it hurts a whole lot more in the best of 1 environment here. So this is Nitro just strolling on in and ripping Sprout's chances straight out of their hands.
Every bullet connecting on that spray.
And understandably so, a timeout will be taken here. Now, maybe you're not too familiar with Sprout, but behind them is Coach Berry, and I think Berry is fantastic. Another name from the Danish Counter-Strike scene, in-game leader, you can see him right here. He's done a fantastic job at scouting a lot of these names. He is a big component of why Sprout is here at this event. The young guns, it's ridiculous. We're talking about 2 18-year-olds, Zyphon and Stare, 17-year-old of Launx, 23 for Slacks, 24 for Refresh. He was normally one of the younger players when he was over there in Heroic and Co.
It's mad how quick the revolving door spins. But yeah, Barry, credit to him. He is the equivalent in Counter-Strike of, those talent scouts showing up to every college game with his notebook and his video camera. He's watching you as you start your career and then just handing you that olive branch to launch it.
Yeah, and some of the keys with this is it's not messing about, right? Like, Stare, Astralis wanted him.
Right.
That ain't happening. Sprout aren't giving him over here. Launx was apparently on the list for Ents, right? We're talking about a Spinks replacement here. So these names with big rosters knocking at the door, they've kept it together.
Let's see how Stare and Launx handle this. I mean, this looks like Liquid just going to go through the motions. And that was the duel you got given. Bit messy. Happy to provide, though, is Yakinda. And Stop It doesn't lay down the law. It's Nitro instead that puts Stare on the floor, and that is another round ascribed to the Liquid. This is where you do, that conversation continues. It is a best of 1. And yes, those smoke kills suck, and you can't necessarily do too much about it. But when it's T rounds on Inferno, best of 1, Sprout really are going to start feeling the frustrations bubbling over if Liquid get even close to the 6 or 7 mark.
Yeah, everything is stacked against them here, right? I think it's fantastic this team was able to get straight through the Legend stage. I like what Alan said. They're definitely of the caliber to be here at the Major, but maybe the Legend stage was due to the draw, right? But they had some fantastic matches over there during the RMR, so you can't take anything away from them, and we definitely will not. Zyphon is maybe a name that people are a bit more familiar with that time within the Copenhagen Flames. So there's links back to teams that people may remember, but this is just a completely new complexion and maybe another one of these for the future. But 0-5 down. Remember, first stage environment for a lot of these individuals, especially at a Major.
Yeah, it is so fun as well just to see how that talent of the Copenhagen Flames has just been sown across of the top 20 teams. It was just
give Hooksy a wave,
all
Alex.
These stars.
Give Hooksy a wave.
Yeah, well, 4 of them are here.
Yeah, well, and even the coach.
And the coach.
Well, he was. EG now, but it was nice to have 4 Borg here. But here we go, second gun round. We're already 5 in the hole for Sprout. This needs to change. OC's orb out to play. Slacks is on the other side. Head-to-head duels on Inferno, few and far between.
Yeah, well, the orb's been dispatched early to B. I was wondering if he might be kind of shepherded into a solo B hold. We'll see how things transpire. Utility initial exchange, refresh, dump in a nade onto OC's socks.
And they've already got the map control they're looking for here. Naf perched in Boiler at a minute 30. Yakinda towards top banana half or splash forward. And a lot of information. He didn't see much. Here comes the banana rally. And, well, nobody's home. They're tucked to safety, but with the space that they require.
Yeah, so already feeling the brunt of the pressure applied in one direction. I'm not talking Harry Styles. Yakinda, Nitro, forced to extinguish. Oh, it's a bad one, and doesn't matter through the fire and flames.
Got away with that one, didn't he?
And there's another nasty one for Slacks. See, I'm just keeping track of his deaths. He's had some nasty ones. The 2 AWP rounds he's had is either a smoke spray from Nitro or mollied out and still fragging the first bullet out of his AK.
But the fact they know it Slacks, the A defense is a little bit weaker now. That's the AWP. He usually plays over towards Arch side. He's in the dirt. They're going to play a 2-2, and Yakinda might secure that info. Another opportunity goes awry. 11 HP, 20 HP, 44 for OC.
You can recover this, though. You can recover this. It does really look at the AWP. Oh, they've actually brought the AWP onto Nitro. With his low HP, he'll be able to provide some covering fire. Elite trying to break down the door, and he does so. Immaculate. Zyphon trying to do more. He needs a double. Does deliver something. Stare as well combined. Puts us in a 2-on-2. Now, bomb will be planted uncontested. I say that. Longs and Stare, both from long side. Or from Nitro. Denied. Longs with a big one. Puts it all onto Elite. He's already got 2. Make it 3 as he looks to close for Liquid. 12-0. No one has been able to put him on his ass. No one can touch him. It's Elite again. Max cash, max stacks. 13-0.
Whoa, give us that smile, Elise. Ellie giggle up into the back right now.
Sheesh.
What are they meant to do? When they're not winning the opening exchanges, then they trade out. Seems kind of efficient over towards that site here, but the franchise players...
This one's ridiculous.
Not thrown into the center of mass in the flames right there, but maybe a big reason why he gets that kill. And the tap, tap, tap away. Yakinda loves that one. What a start. And this is a change from their first series here.
Someone told Elise he has to really wake up, and he's certainly bright-eyed and bushy-tailed here into his second game of the major. Yakinda's loving it. He is continuing to through his flight paths and does draw our attention to his ability and affinity for finding gaps, and it won't be many here on the B side with 3 already established. He throws an early present smoke towards CT. You can see he's basically doing the job of a whole team here, and a flubbed smoke from Stare gives Yakinda something to play with. Tap around, spray around, Slacks is gone, and already Longs, may have been spotted just over the edge of the smoke. Yakinda opens up the account. Clotheslines refreshed, the round is done. Berry's just trying to find a towel. Has anyone got one? I need to throw it in the ring, because this one is looking a little alarming for Sprout.
Absolute marauders right now in Banana here.
Sheesh,
ransacking.
Leave him alone.
Yeah, this is bullying right now. And this is the Liquid we all expected to see in the server. Nope, timing against him. Zyphon will put the bullets down.
That's it. That was his first death, looking the wrong way. Elige concedes and gives him up a rifle for Zyphon to save. Certainly a nice upgrade from the Deagle. Naf looking for vengeance, but it's a long, long old path. As Zyphon maneuvers back towards the T-side apartments, maybe Liquid will have a little more of a sniff around. You can see Yakinda as well aware the round is his.
I think if we discuss some of the issues in Banana here, I mentioned the fact that it's Longs and Stare holding over towards that side of the map, and it's not that they haven't had help. They have had help, but they've been unsuccessful. And that's not always because the fight's coming immediately, maybe a bit more dribs and drabs, spam through smokes, but at this point, the bomb site with the 2 names that you'd expect to be able to lock things down have not been able to do exactly that. And what that means is there's gaps everywhere that Liquid can now exploit, either bomb site, right? They are the ones who are forcing Sprout to chase this tail, and even unforced errors, right? He tried to throw that smoke through a smoke, right? So the gray screen trying to get that lineup. Well, it doesn't work. And Yakinda, he will punish any little mistakes you make. That was the M4. Hits the deck before Refresh even gets an opportunity. And here we go again.
Well, I'm on Slack's watch. He's been having a nightmare. We'll see.
4B, that's one way to get Banana control.
Yeah, it should be a guarantee, right? Slack's got a lot of the burden on him for A. Has to be careful with the engagements he chooses to take. And a trade of blows in terms of flames. You can see incendiaries both ways. Timing on the nade. Shy. Safe. Yakinda continues his crawl. He's always managed to get himself up there, but this time they have full control. Needs to extinguish for survival. It's well placed. Will linger within it. Aggression this time. Pushing in his Stare. Refresh supports. and Sprout will have deep banana control. This is a change. We haven't seen this before. Liquid now, perhaps. And a little bit of a downward spiral in this round. How do you recover? Man disadvantage. Loss of control of the crucial part of the map. Stair does look to concede it upon the smoke fade, though.
But they understand how much utility was used just to get this control. If they can push Stair back out of banana, you can execute towards B, and there's not a whole lot of crowd control utility available here. 4 players cheating over towards A for Sprout during all of this, but Liquid don't want a bar of it. They are reading this situation very well, and they flush this out. So Refresh looks like he'll be the individual in swing to back Stair up, the countryman on the other side of the server.
Decent nade.
And back to A they go. So the pendulum swinging, they force the rotation. Lonks towards Trash. Slacks and Zyphon to crossfire on the side.
It's Lonks. Has a little glance and loses his head for it. Quick punishment and no trade potential. Slacks and Zyphon now quaking in their boots. 20 seconds though, if you can disrupt, if you can hit a crazy shot or two, this could be the first round for Sprout. They need it. Need it badly. Recovered beautifully by Liquid. Already it's Zyphon. That's the disruption. Does go down. Time sensitive. That Slacks just needs to live. Just needs to live. 5, 4, and the damage is done. Sprout take the round. Hectic into the finish. But it was Slacks with a double. His first 2 frags are combined with Zyphon. High impact from that graveyard position. And the CTs will post their first.
Well handled, but I think if you're Liquid, you're not too upset with that. You lost the opening kill, you forced the rotations around, and then it got scrappy here. Just hops up, gets 2, and Slacks, yeah, you can see him just cowering in the back of the corner on 2 points of health here, but still getting the job done. And that's something to get excited about. Sure, it's a massive hole that you're in right now, but that is the first in digging your way out. It's time 4 towards A, and they're barreling down mid.
Oh, I love this. Refresh, he's called himself into an aggressive stance. Not ready. Not ready for that. Look at the damage. Nearly 200 points of damage inflicted in the spray. Nitro and Yakinda, they got missing limbs.
I don't know they're low, but just how low is the real question here. That's Refresh, one of the A defenders down. But that type of maneuver, I was watching back in some of the demos, they've run that one before, so have Liquid done their homework. More posturing towards A, but Lonks and Stair, those B defenders, are both in the apartments, and right now everybody from Liquid is in banana.
It's very dynamic. No, if they're considering a boost, it would have to be now. Now. As in already they're at top banana, we should probably get the AWP established kind of vibe. Oh dear, Molly arrives, Slacks in reposition, still Zyphon. Boosted up and successful on the first. Slacks connects as well. This is a perfect 1-2 punch of the defense. Zyphon now playing for time. Plays for the rotate, 2 frags to the good. Man advantage, Naf goes hunting, finds it.
Both banana.
And looking to recover. Well played smoke, it's perfect. They have retake utility. Lonks looks like he wants to just jump straight through. A well-placed nade could end Yakinda. HE on Stair.
They're executing on them here.
Full execute. Naf surely going to be Molotov'd out of position. Emo as well, he's going to have to stand in the open. What is the solution? The Molly may have missed. Oh, Nav's behind the new box. He can play the point man. Distract for that low HP of Yakinda. Nade, good on the money. Nav healthy. Only 1 now. Lonks forced to watch, and Stair does not have the time for this. He needs it now. Yakinda, well-trained, resistance, futile.
It's type of round you think they'd be winning there, especially with how much work Zyphon does from the back of the side. All you can do is sit there and shake your head. I think that's a lost opportunity for them as we have some Liquid fans in the crowd with some drums. So
it was starting so strong. I mean, this is the recovery, isn't it? 3rd man in, Naf. Good work from him. Of course, Nitro as well. Naf got the double.
You think if that Molotov lands towards the back of the site, maybe a completely different looking retake situation there.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, just a little bit rushed from Sprout here, and understandably so. Again, some banana aggression. Slacks having a look and shot through the wickets, but so much damage done. Nitro, Yakinda, OC all tickled up early.
Didn't stop him before though, Shad. We saw Liquid with so much damage dealt, and already, yeah, poking their nose.
You could just stand here. You could just literally say gun out.
Oh, Shadow out. Elige aware. Stair hesitant. And they're coming his way. Easy find on the first. No trade immediately. Does need to get the hell out of dodge. Wide, super wide out of refresh. And at least traded by the nade. Stair to reposition. Nav still in their apartment. Zyphon underneath that bulk. It's all about the timing in this 4 versus 3. An underhand smoke will completely deny the access from Library. It's Zyphon's the power position. And first OC clears it out, problem solved, site open. Ooh, a bit of a punishment. Stair finishes what he started earlier in the round with a
M4 through smoke.
Now, this is the type of round Sprout have to win here. Number advantage retake scenario, 2 smokes, defuse kit. The biggest issue is Slacks' AWP, but OC and NAF, they can win this.
NAF, will he be cleared? Will he be checked? Timing is everything. Slacks might take a cursory glance, but it doesn't look like he has. Pin has been pulled. NAF, Spidey senses tingling. Right behind them both, and the round reaches its conclusion. The blink of an eye, 3 frags in the feed, and yet another one just slips out of Sprout's hands.
Yeah, and I was going to credit them on the pistol. They actually cleared out Boiler and Halls on the pistol somewhat as part of their retake, and this time round it wasn't a consideration. There's the reposition, it wasn't considered. A nasty ass NAF, he's just going to walk on out, 2 in the back, and that's where he loves to do his best work.
Oh, frustrations, yeah.
It's going to be a partial investment here for Sprout, and it already feels like this has gotten way too far away from him.
Liquid about to do the same thing right back. It's Sprout now that feel the lockout of a CT side Inferno run. Yukinda, lots of bodies in front of him, hard adjustment and well handled. Stair draws blood, OC quick on the AWP. Charging, Elige actually front of the pack, he's looking for Lawrence. No, he's there, confirmed by the smoke. Tucked in and up and over, down and out. Every defender of the B site meets a Liquid rifle. Slacks to rotate through, nothing more than an unarmored P250. And scared of those smokes, I would be too. Throws a couple of bullets of his own to no avail. Refresh looking to save his armor and his bibblies.
There was no right option there for Slacks, but if he just wanted to hang around for a cheeky kill, he's now alerted them to his presence. He doesn't have a teammate that's close enough to contribute to any of this action here, so can he save a gun? Can he get a kill? At this point, it doesn't really matter. Double digits secured. I think he wants to drop the smoke to get away here. They're holding him at bay for now. But this is great from Liquid. How the day started to how things are going is a very positive sign for them here at this major. Elige starting to search forward, and if he doesn't clear his corners, yeah, he will be giving up an AK-47. The question is, can he hold on to it?
No. Oh, okay. A little bit of taste. Oh, okay. No one has smokes in this game, I think, actually. I've seen more of these in what's been 11 rounds of play than we have at the tournament so far.
That's nice for OC there to get away with that. Hold on to the AWP, 6 points of health remaining, so very fortunate. You can see Refresh trying to punish on the save. Interesting with OC, right? He does his second major appearance here, but even more curious is it's only the 3rd for Yukinda. That just shows how quick he got to the top of the Counter-Strike table, right? He really surged during the online era,
yeah,
but it's shown that he's obviously a very, very good individual.
And it shows how, you know, quickly you can rise if you're doing things right. You know, he demonstrated his ability, did so through thick and thin and through the pandemic, and then by the time the pandy was done, Yukinda was getting randy in Liquid. An exciting, you know, a crossover I never saw coming.
And I think it was one necessary, considered that Liquid were kind of gurgling down the drain, right? It was not a team that we were excited about. We thought, well, North American Counter-Strike is dead. We'll see it again in 4 years' time.
And not only that, but we brought Daps back. You know, I thought we'd lost him. What is going on there? So there's a chart of Mega Brains. I think it was to do with how big their brain was.
Yes, Alex, that's exactly what that was about.
Thanks, I knew it. All right, well, the horde, the mass of Counter-Strike fans want blood. Let's see who's going to draw it first into round 12.
I thought that was just pretty violent what we just saw on the screen, so either way. He took another timeout here, Sprout, and understanding if they can get themselves these next 4 rounds, maybe there's a shot.
He's so stubborn. Yukinda just catches such a graceful balance of aggression, calculated at the right times, taking his space when it's given. Damage, it's significant. Nades land on Launx and Refresh.
They're really going to fight for this. I wouldn't be surprised if after this smoke, they Molotov towards Sandbag just to be extremely diligent. A boost might do the trick.
Oh, this could be fun. It was pre-aim, timing, everything. Just over there. One head spotted, deleted. Steph still vigilant. That's his first of the round. Puts us into a 4-on-4. Elige coming to knock on the door, right in the open, and Stair gets shut down. Pushing through. Refresh needs the multi, only the one Nitro to trade his fallen comrade, and the rest, falls into place.
What else do they have to do in Banana? 3 bodies, so much util, pushing the back, fighting. It's like, well, no, actually, we're playing Wingman. We're just going to fight on one side.
They've played 3 from spawn. They've played all there, 4. They've tried aggression with deep smokes and pushing. Gamble stacks. Nothing's worked. I mean, this is just the kooky Counter-Strike universe that Liquid find themselves on the same map, the other side. that they just got completely blown out on. And now they're handing it to someone else. They're passing off the torch of the stomp.
Yeah, but Yakinda's doing what he needs to do on a map like this. He's currently been involved in 9 opening exchanges, and he's converted 6 of them, right? So that's setting them up in a very tidy fashion.
I saw that incredible chart. I couldn't tell you, I'm afraid. I'd like to provide sources when available, but I saw an incredible chart of opening duel attempts. And
that can't be right.
It was Yakinda was off the chart. Everyone else was, you know, there was some front runners, and then there was just Yakinda. In terms of the amount of duels he's trying to take, attempts at an opening duel, Yakinda is above every single Counter-Strike professional player.
I'm trying to doubt. I think I'm doubting myself here. Hold on, let me just quick maths.
Well, there's been 12 rounds of play.
Yeah, can't be wrong. So 13 opening kills in the server according to HLTV.
Yeah.
I just got tricked.
Well, that's okay. A couple of hijinks.
Yeah,
Just a light statistic hyperbole. The orbs are both out. Zoom bangers for both squads. Second mid presence with bomb, so expect to see the A site tested. Still a 3-2 split of resources for the defense.
Well, this is them really now punishing the fact that they have to play heavy towards B. If they want to do an apps explode, or at least look for a 1vx scenario, in this case it's 3 coming Xiphon's way.
Such a gift Yakinda is. He can just do it on his own. Wow, Xiphon, I love this angle, but how far will it get him? Oh, absolutely nowhere.
Round over.
Naf knocks him off the balcony, already dipped into pit, refreshes, screaming for aid. Would love to be able to at least hold on to his life.
Please.
And yeah, I mean, but it's such a horrible feeling when you're already in such a pit. You have to try and find a way in, but one frag really enough to condemn you to a save? The answer is yes, and I say that. Yakinda may not be too happy about 4 people saving their rifles. It may be in his interest. A couple of...
They're being noisy as well. Yeah, they're in quicksand right now. Right, no matter what they do, they can either go for it or they can sit here and try and save, but they're going to struggle their way into a deeper hole. If Yakinda goes down to the AWP, okay, well now they know the AWP's there as well. So look at the pack of hungry dogs. Naf, OC going to join the tail in Banana.
Oh, yeah, they're going to execute and try and punish as much of Sprout's save as possible. This could hurt. You're already losing the round. Now you could lose your weapons as well. Liquid trying to twist that knife. The barbed arrowhead ripped out. Take it all with you. On the way in now. Good from Stair. Takes down Elige. Still, Lawrence relieved of his rifle. 3 to save, and the final answer given. 12-1 the score. Sprout desperate for some more.
That round right there is a summary of how easy this is. The fact that they were able to explode on towards A and then still have enough utility to execute on towards B. That says it all, right?
Yeah.
If you're a hardcore Counter-Strike fan and you just saw that go down, yeah, this one is dire straits.
And Nav handled that first fight with ease. You know, it looked like it was just a slither gap, but you hit your crouch keys, no longer banging your head.
Double AWPs on the CT side, Slacks Airlines lands, and, well, no one's punching their ticket.
Has a chance. Gives it up. Big nade onto the face of Refresh. Might want to think twice about continuing.
They're bullying them so hard.
That's nice. The second AWP launch actually connecting. It was onto the rival AWPer and more found. Launch 2.
12-3 being the solace of all of this.
I think they just love to get off that one before that second half.
This is the correct call, knowing that that AWP is unlikely to rotate because there's one at A and one at B. Going for a set piece in towards the B bomb site here is key. And they don't have a Molotov. They have smoke, sure. No HE. And I assume that Liquid, once they execute, will go through this. Look how much they have. Couple of smokes, couple of mollies, handful of flashes. Enough to brute force their way in here.
They can make something out of this. Interesting that Naf's been searching for that AWP and will try and come in last with it. Lines up his smoke. Still into the 2 of them. Stare. And Lawrence already 2 frags to the good. Can he get anything more done? A heavy advantage. They cannot give this up. Should be a formality. A third rotates through. Lawrence flashed off. Stare activates over the coffins. Does rain down the double. And only Elige looking for some style points. Beautiful movement. And run on down. Not allowing him to think it out. Sprout will post that second round. And it is off the back of Lawrence's second AWP. Credit to be given when it is due. That's the first time we've seen the CTs have all 5 alive at the end of a round here in the best of 1.
Yeah, look, there's a positive to take into halftime. If they can grab this, there's going to be a rousing speech. The pissed around, yeah, we can have that conversation after the 2-minute break. Let's see if Liquid can really rub salt in the wounds here. But I think it's a good sign that Stare and Long's contributed here as the B defenders to lock down their side almost single-handedly. Xiphon comes here and picks up the 5th and final. And Now it's back to that three-man B lean with Slacks top mid. He's going to flash himself forward and going to take the fight. He's going to go down easy as you like, but Lonks again, he'll draw things back.
This has been a nice change-up. Keeps it level in the state of play for our 15th. Smoke applies a lot of pressure towards mid, but it is only a lowly Elige just having a jiggle and a walk. I jiggle when I walk too. There's Refresh onto Elige.
You can see they're getting cheeky with it now, hoping to exploit some gaps here.
It's still not the end of the world though. Sprout, this is compulsory. Long's still alive, which does certainly fill us with a little hope.
They can execute again, but I don't think Yukinda will. I think he's going to try and go contact here.
Yukinda's flight path is always interesting to observe. We'll see how he goes through motions. Just as that smoke balloon from the CTs, it actually covers his movement. Oh, it's so cheeky. He hasn't made any noise. Now it spreads. Yeah, but he gets his molly down. He forces the hand into the side. Refresh uses his hand to slap Yukinda out of it, the round. OC desperate to plant the flank as well from Naf is interesting. Up Speedway should be uncontested on the plant. Stare unawares as well. Zypher leaving A late. OC and Naf looking to piece together the 13th round. It's all about timing for Nafly. From the back. Oh, and he's got info. Screaming, likely Coffin's exit. Naf has locked the door behind them. And the Canadian sneaking on in. It's all about OC survival as well. Plays the back box. Naf is going to be cruel if he whips out his knife, trying to speed up the pace. A quick catch. OC to be hunt down now. This is when Naf should activate, and he doesn't need to as OC hits a second. One-on-one established off the nade. Zypher, no idea. 13. Absurd from Liquid. A recovered squad. Should just be putting it in after the break. Sprout scratching their heads. Liquid are in Brazil. They've arrived. Game 2.
Missed. That would have been a great pick to find. He had the opportunity. Keto's pushing through.
Tausch diesen Winter Stiefel gegen Badeschlappen, Schaufel gegen Shuffleboard und Eiszeiten gegen Auszeiten. Erlebt beim AIDA Sommerwinter auch in der kalten Jahreszeit entspannte Reisen in den Süden. Auf nach AIDA.
Left.
Oh, this could be a really good stack, especially with the M4 and the AWP. Starting to get over here. They're going to be boosting into the corner with... If they had a lot of Molotovs on the T side, they probably Molotov this corner and check it. But with only one, if they use it anywhere else, that little boost in the corner with just a pistol is going to be deadly.
The only X factor is Searson having to manage the angles. They boosted up in the previous round. You can tell he's very nervous of something coming in. So Tapson says, nope, keep your op trained. I'll watch it from market. I'll let you know if they're coming.
Oh, they're crunching them. There's only 22 seconds. This is an absolute nightmare. Mouse, they've built themselves such a good position, but it could go away. Nice opening for JDC. They checked that without the Molotov, and that's huge. 10 seconds now on the clock, and it's still a 3-on-4. And the flank is coming in pretty quick. Tabson's going to get one. Searson's down here on the low ground. 5 seconds left. He misses one, and he goes down. But can they find it? Keto just has to run, and they'll win the round. No time for the bomb plant. Man, that was close.
Oh my lord, again, the missed shot on the planter from Searson, but at least it gets him off the plant because he knew he couldn't repeat into it. He had to stick that and trust his teammate. Actually, his teammate hits the shot on the repeat. If he sticks that plant, they might have actually won that round.
Yeah.
Mouse actually does a pretty good job working their way through that stack at the B bomb site, but they have nothing to show for it at the end of the day. 13-7.
Unbelievable scenes. That, I mean, Keto also, not that I don't want to blame him, but he could have run into a bullet right there and lost it in the last 2 seconds. So super scary stuff. 7-13. Winnable still for Mouse, but the problem is really the money. And I guess that is true for both teams at the moment.
Yeah, this game is just on a knife's edge. It can tilt either way or the other. This is another big round that dictates a lot of whether Mouse can keep fighting or whether Big is going to have all the advantages in the world to close out the map and go 2-0 in this Legend stage. Version is going to wake his way up. Connector. Mouse is going to re-rotate around to the A bomb site. So a split with one player lurking here and the other 4 to take attention away. And there's 3 defenders at this part of the map.
Surely if Tabson gets smoked off, he has to...
Moto's not smoked. Moto's not smoked.
I'm holding it. I'm gonna peek library. Library. He's an This op. second guy. Second guy. They have double op. Nice. Nice. Mid behind. Yeah. You got this.
Nice shot!
Yeah, Ellie giggling all the way to the bank. Liquid have arrived in Brazil. Sprout, unfortunately, feeling the wrath of Liquid in form. At least they were on the first half. T-side haul of 13 rounds after getting blown out in their first. Liquid do seem to have at least found their footing whilst also disrupting or uprooting Sprout.
Yeah, look, Liquid are warmed up now, right? This is the fact of the matter. The first game of the day, they got blown out of the server, and now here they are to play 5 down middle, Alex.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. They want to get this done now. Just get that 16 on the board and move on with their lives. Oof, okay, Lawrence with a bit of a rebuttal. Big from Slacks, hunting into the UMPs, not the play. And punished accordingly. That's a fine. That's a fine from Zyphon. His Glock is sharp. And it puts Naf into dire straits. He's got to get his ass over to B, or does he? We'll find out. He's second-guessing it himself. Refresh well aware that the last was seen on A. Open runway to get that bomb down on B. Stare to housekeep Banana.
A lot of ground to cover here for Naf on the jump spot. He might get some info. Ooh, looking the wrong way. So I think that's gone one way.
Yeah, he's got out of there. Stare would rather take the duel as a duo. Naf, 12 bullets. Can they connect into those 2 heads? Look at this firing squad. Trying to take the duel in unison. Make it impossible as Naf. Oh no! They weren't ready for that. Second orange is to be cleared over the head. It's a refresh. Screws their head back on tight. Good God. That would have been a very sour mood in the camp if you lose that one over the top. No one considered it.
Wow. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. No one considered it. That is a little bit curious in itself. You think maybe a footstep would have been heard in that environment, but this could be a factor of the stage here because Stare, he didn't address that whatsoever, and Refresh just hoping, please don't clear me.
That's a high sense move. You got to track him as that
First 3
Z-axis.
shots missed.
Yep.
Woof. Okay, yeah. Probability of that one falling apart was getting pretty high, but look at this force buy. Scout in the hands of OC.
Okay. You wouldn't do that again, would you, with your Galil? Who is this brave soldier? Okay, well, respect to Slacks. He's having a couple of pot shots into the scout, and there has been a casualty elsewhere. Yakinda.
A big casualty. He had an M4 dropped across to it, which he's wielded to no success. Elige has scooped it up. So carrying that now back over towards A. This is the wrong call.
Nitro does have a smoke, so best case scenario, he throws it out upon first contact. Oh, they might just run. They might just run. No time for fun in games with his smoke deployed. He needs to get it out now and hope for the rotate through. He's managed to scavenge another one, but they are not respecting that. Refresh looking for answers. Nitro with the opportunity. Ahead and looking the wrong way was Refresh. 2 to the body, center of mass, and 1 HP to spare.
Well, the remaining 3 members of Liquid will do their best to save here. Even though OC's poking around, holding on to this M4 is key. There is a bit of a issue here of Zyphon, who's been able to slink his way up in towards the A side. So if OC does dip back, likely to see him falter and fall, but this M4 on Elige will stay in play most likely.
I mean, I know it's early days, but there is one framing we haven't considered.
A Liquid choke?
No. Well, sure, but
Oh.
but Liquid's CT side performance on Inferno was not a fluke.
That's okay. All right. All right.
You know, I'm just going to put the angle out there. We can come back to it. But woof, what if their CT side was not a one-trick pony? What if it happens again? They've got the world in their hands at this point with a 13-2 half. Admittedly, now a lost pistol. But you only need 3 rounds over the course of the next 15. I mean, really. Just got to play this one conservative. And just walk it home.
I really like the decision-making of Refresh there, right, to get smoked off. We know in the meta at the moment that a lot of teams are going to do a stockpile of smoke grenades. And Refresh, once he sees that smoke come down, he disrespects it. He goes, if I ran into the side and there's nobody here, then they're just playing this hijinks,
the jig
right?
is up.
Exactly, and they identified that quite quickly. If Nitro got that kill, maybe a different dialogue to be had. But Elige now with this M4 over towards Boiler Room. We need to stay on board with him, and he he will be mollied out of position for now. There was a flash to try and facilitate this, and wow, big upsetting Maus 16-7. They've taken down both of their quote-unquote German org rivals today. Yeah. So that's a massive victory for Big, who are one best of 3 away from the playoffs.
Big 3-0 fans.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. And Searson seems to be at the top of the scoreboard every time I check, which is also kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think he got fed up with that online dialogue.
Yeah, he's like, you know what?
I might just start shooting
everybody. Just start shooting everybody, and maybe I'll bring my mouse mat from home.
Yeah, he's been owning, and I really love that interview, that headline.
Yeah, oh, it's perfect.
It's exactly what you want from your AWPer here, but this is exactly what you want from Liquid. The stack is in the right place. 4 players on the site. Nitro with a Molotov.
Nick Canella.
How does he want to use this? You've got a couple of options here, because if they execute, you might want to throw it into pool as opposed to slowing them down. I think he wants to separate here, but if he throws it into pool, they're all going to have to run straight into site.
Yeah, and send them into NAF, or not anymore. Life cut short, courtesy of the Galil. Stare gives them the opening kill, and the whole squad now starting to gather. Liquid are in the right place, but will they find the right frags? It's Elige. The M4 now spotted. Slags feels the brunt of that pre-aim. Good damage, better. Yakinda on the dig, still alive and kicking. From behind now, Elige will strike, and Sprout bleeding out. We need a frag back, nothing to be celebrated. Only Zyphon from the flank, and now Liquid poised for their 14th. On the save, Yossi plucks him from the sky. 1 click of the dig, 14 found.
Wow, that investment of the M4 in the second round pays off in the third. That is miraculous stuff right there. Elige continuing to find impact here. I think I said he had 11 kills in that opening matchup against Maus. Well, he's up to 20 already here, and his teammates are here to play as well. 14 for Yakinda and Naf, and that's a shot from OC in the back of the dome. OC with 11 and 8 for Nitro. So the heavy hitters are here to play, and Sprout, they understand the situation. We're out of rounds, boys. We have to buy.
See what Slags can get done. T-side AWPing, notoriously difficult. Glass cannon, never mind that. I wouldn't want to go near Banana with a barge pole.
You bang on. A glass cannon AWP T-side Inferno, no thanks.
No, no, no.
How are you going to navigate anywhere on the map without being harassed by utility or like spam through smokes? This is going to be rough ride.
See what they can make happen. Rather standard. Crossfire established. Elige, Nav, supported by OC. Maybe they're not expecting an AWP. Perhaps someone oversteps the line. Elige not known to do so, but there it is. Slacks does put his name in the feed, puts Elige in a grave, and OC now responsible. Tucked in on the site, calling for Yakinda's aid as well. He gets through, short to be cleared. Only a Mac 10 up there, and now taken away. Slacks, can you get anything more done? The flashes are good. The frag is better. Zyphon 1. It's Slacks again. A lifeline provided for Sprout. Will Nitro voice concerns? He's got everything you could need for a retake, a full belt of utility.
He doesn't have to go for this round, but he could give it a good look in. You highlighted the U2 here. Now that he's going around short side, it's a bit more difficult to piece this together. And I think he is just going to play the safe game of the save game. Would love to see it in an environment like this when you know it's against these younger individuals, the less experienced individuals, really just trying to push them around the server here, but not wanting to give any opportunities, just wanting to do some damage. And as they exit his direction, he might mop up the final few. There's the AWP removed.
Oh, he can pick it up if the bomb blasts it towards him.
You have to be careful now with the radius of the bomb, right? He knows he has to tuck back a bit. It's backside plant. That means that Stair will stay alive. I'm not sure if Nitro will get back there in time. No, he won't. Just the Galil carried forward here. Now, that AWP, I think that came from Zyphon. I think Zyphon dropped him that AWP to make it possible. So they put so much faith in Slacks to hit the kills he needed to when the scoreline was at 14-4, and he delivered. Yeah. So that is a great little boost to the confidence right there for the AWP player from Sprout, but he doesn't have enough funds to get one out again. Thereby is... Oh, hold on,
this is the weirdest buy, bro.
What?
Yeah, double AWP and Deegs, of course. And he knows Slacks likes to release his crouch key on those stairs. Will fire off a warning shot. AWP in play, they say. And Smokes has already Plume top of mid and long respectively.
That's curious that they've gone for double AWPs here. Would have been a lot more utility available. There would have been a rifle in the mix
Nitro
as
says,
well.
sorry, I didn't get the AWP, and they said, oh.
And he gives away everything. Look at his selfless in-game leader. He gave the AWP to OC, he bought one for him, and he gave the Galil to Nap. So,
nice.
Vending machine Nitro right now. I know how that feels.
Oh, a little cheeky glimpse from the fingertips. Thinks better of it. Retake util will delay.
But they're boosting over this here, so you have to be careful with the regress. The thing I like about Sprout is they have very good understandings of how they should react. I think the things that have fallen apart for them is losing duels through smokes or losing heads-up fights that they should have been converting. So now top mid utility, you can see this being limped out. Very standard way of throwing it these days. Bouncer off the wall. It's always nice when you have the incendiary out of porch as well. But they do have this top mid control.
Yeah, I mean, if they can group up and hit the side together, it's going to be very hard to hold unless OC has one of his pop-offs.
He's creeping for info here.
Lee's calling for raid. Info, 3 at least counted on long side, walking in, timing good on his peaks, he needs support, they're wrapping in, OC called upon, does deliver, one through the box, finished by Naf! Liquid destroy, Sprout on arrival, just crushed at the hands of OC and Naflight. 2 to go, both low, Zypher catching a lot through the spray, they need to reload, they need to push and plan, and it's enough. Zypher does so much work. Nitro too far away to find a weapon, but mission accomplished. 15 is found. And Sprout, not a lot to bring into this round. It's Glocks and it's what? 2,600 on the high end. That is bleak for a 10-round run demanded of them. That first half is just going to completely haunt them.
Yeah, that was almost a double there from OC as well. So the double orb setup paying off in a big way here. They're only going to carry one forward, sure, but as you mentioned, Sprout are on the ropes right now.
A lot of attention on Stair.
They don't even have utility.
He's got a good spawn chat and he's charging up Banana. As are Liquid. They want to bring the fight to them. Just charging straight in. Cruelty onto Lawrence. Yukinda's finishing this right here, right now. Liquid charged through. Stair was so far forward, lost in the smoke now, and lost in the source. Sprout shut down. Only 21 rounds. Liquid back in business. A recovery in Rio de Janeiro. Alarm bells were ringing after that first game, Chad, but it looks like a little bit of an answer back from the North American squad.
Found that focus they were looking for here. A 16-2 loss to Mouse. They turned that around against a massive underdog of Sprout here, and the fist bumps will come in. The first stage experience for a lot of these players on the Sprout side of the server. First major for 3, and they've got some thinking to do. They are in the 0-2 column.
And I've done some thinking, Chad. I want to get this advert break started as soon as possible, because coming up next, for IEM Rio, FaZe Vitality, Na'Vi Cloud9, both streams, don't go anywhere.
I'm here joined by OG. We're going to review some of the player stickers for the IEM Rio Major.
Got Mezzy hanging out with me and Roy, and that is a sticker. We're going to be doing 2 scores out of 10 for it. So it's the signature itself and then just general aesthetics.
Oh, that one is good.
It's pretty fire.
Yeah. That one is so good.
It's a good sticker. I think like it's really like casual, you know, just you have a sticker in your game, like you don't really care about like any special design, I think.
This is like, his name is super small and it just looks so big. I think also this one looks super good on like in-game as well.
I was thinking that you're going to be able to read it like
exactly.
on the floor.
Yeah.
Like, to see whose AK is on the floor.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
That's why I think the bigger signatures overall are just nicer. Like I said, in-game when you're looking at a skin, it's you want to be able to see it and for it to stand out. And like this one, I think for sure does.
So is this our first 10?
Yeah, I think that's a 10 for sure.
Again, like the Na'Vi logo, like the background looks like 9 out of 10, and the bit it's just like default. It's like you cannot go wrong with that. So I'll give it like a 5 out of 10.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 5 out of 10. It's chill for me. It's
what
like,
a critic.
It looks fine.
Oh, he's thrown in the Brazilian
Yeah,
flag in there.
I love that little detail.
But he used the same one before as well, but then he added the flag, I think, actually.
That's why you got to add a couple more points there.
I think the sticker itself is 10 out of 10 with the flag inside.
I think it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty good. I think it's 9.
Yeah, 9.
Yeah.
I think both
9's across the board. Yeah.
9's across the board.
And the background is.
The background is amazing.
Again, like I think the whole, like all the stickers have kind of meh background in my opinion.
Okay, you're
So,
not a huge fan of
nah,
the
like maybe
general
6
vibe.
out of 10.
OC.
It's
They got a crosshair.
It's like kind of like the default avatar, like photo on any social media. It's like
Yeah, yeah, actually, that's pretty good actually.
That's true.
I imagine something else when I say OC. I think you could make like cool ideas out of it.
The O's like on a slant, the C's like the
Yeah.
like the second part is on is straight. So
I would give it like a 5 out of 10 on the like how the signature looks.
It looks alright. I think the E's looks a bit weird. A little bit, maybe.
it's just okay for me.
Yeah, it's okay. 8, 7? 7.5.
7. No, no
Seven,
half.
yeah.
No
I
half.
got 7.
Back on like 1 out of 10.
You have no chill.
Yeah,
I love it.
Look at it.
Big have just managed to go 2-0 here on the B stream side of things. They've just taken down Mouse. It was on Mirage. Obviously, Dust2 gets banned out by Mouse, giving Big away their map they've been doing really well on. But this is the first map loss we're seeing from Mouse. God, huge work being done here from Big. Sin coming in, a lot of question marks around him, you know, having a stand-in as well. But German Counter-Strike, it's on the rise, and they started off strong here on day one.
They certainly are, Banks. Absolutely love that wholesome energy going down over on the B stream. The A stream side of life, though, things getting pretty brutal. Turns out, guys, Liquid are back. They just need a cold shower to really warm themselves up here in Rio, submitting an absolutely savage 16-5 loss to the side of Sprout, completely turning the tides from what we saw earlier on of Liquid.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Freya, I think in the pre-game segment, I think I was too harsh on Sprout. I said if Liquid showed up in full form, they'd only get about 5 rounds. I went back to the green room and I'm thinking, maybe I need to tweet at all those Sprout fans and say, I've gone too far this time. I've said too much, and I sat there and Sprout were losing every single round, getting absolutely brutalized. And in the end, Freya, like always, I was right. It was a 16-5.
You looked into your big crystal ball and you saw the exact scoreline. Alan, you're going 100% in predictions, your fantasy team, everything all around. Not 100% though, unfortunately for Sprout. Try as they might, Liquid just too much on this map of Inferno.
Oh yeah, definitely. And well, what happened in this match was pretty much Elise joining the server and going for the kills, and that was it. Like, Elise was just insane, right? We asked him to perform better than he did in the previous game, and he was delivering. And I think that for Elise, you know, I think for Liquid in general in this match, I could just tell that like they were so comfortable, like in every single aspect. Like they're just ahead. In terms of like strategic speaking, individually speaking, they're just so good individually that like even when they're taking banana control, like they manage to take like top banana control and they're not even executing. They're just going in, trading off of each other, and that's mainly it.
Yeah, they're just giving absolutely zero respect. It's kind of as simple as that. They were so eager to take the jewels, and this is actually a map where Elige doesn't necessarily lurk that much. He just plays in towards Boiler, takes mid, and in this game, he was getting so many entry kills on that T side. He was a monster, and they just couldn't handle him. Yakinder as well. These guys were just way too much for Sprout to deal with.
Yeah, Yakinder having way more success in terms of opening jewels as well. A little nugget from production too. Apparently, Elige putting up as many kills in round number 4 as he did in the entire map of the game we saw earlier versus Mouse. So let's get a few words from him, courtesy of Heku.
They did. They got a win. Elish, congratulations. You maybe had like a rough start, but like if we compare the series number 1 to series number 2, it's like it's just day and night. What changed?
I really just don't think that we were playing like how we normally would. I think it's kind of just like our first game jitters. Like we had like a travel day, media day, and you know we played Mouse, who came in really on top of their game. They played 3-0 into the challenger stage, and they just completely outclassed us. Like we weren't playing how we should, not being active enough, and they were just hitting all the headshots, playing to win super hard. And yeah, we just got dominated. Whereas here, you know, we talked about it, all the things that we need to do, being proactive, communication, all that type of stuff. And, you know, that's how it should be, honestly. I think that we have really high expectations for ourselves.
Well, the first map was Inferno. The second map also was Inferno. Were you worried to actually go into this map once again, like in the same day?
No, we were talking about it because it's not really that big of a deal, because that really wasn't us, like in the first map. Like we played so bad, and I'm sure like they watched that game and they're like, yeah, Liquid is horrible. So, I mean, I would be thinking that too if I were them. Like we just got dominated. So it wasn't really like that big of a problem for us. Like We were kind of surprised that they, didn't want to pick like some other maps in that one, but it worked out for us.
Well, I had the pre-interview with Yikinder, and in all honesty, it almost felt as if it was like an exit interview. What was the mood like going to the series?
I don't think it's not that like we were feeling like super bad. Like it's not like we were super confident, super bad. But I think that we kind of like maybe mentally took like a little bit of a hit from getting owned like that, and it's just kind of going to be however we come into this match is kind of determine how it is. And that sounds kind of bad, but when you have such a bad loss like that in the first game, if we can just start off really strong in this one, then it's going to be really good. But if not, like we would have to claw our way there. But we know that we're the stronger team in this game, so yeah, I don't know.
All right, then good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Love that we got the man of the hour, I guess we're saying, on the microphone with Heku. And exactly as you said, Alan, them being more proactive, better communication through and through from the team.
Yeah, and Elige started off that game 13-0. That kind of helps. That makes your life a little bit easier. I mean, those strategies work really well when you're just killing them every single round. So, yeah, they just look like a more comprehensive unit. They look proactive. They look aggressive. They were giving no respect, as we were saying a few minutes ago. And that's when Liquid plays at their best. So, firing all cylinders and now feeling a lot better about the moving forwards.
And on top of that, they had the crowd supporting them as expected.
I love that. We were sort of theory crafting in the green room. I guess it was because Fallen used to play for Liquid, so anything that Fallen touches, I guess, turns to gold coming into Rio. But we do have loads more matches coming up today. Another 0-1 matchup, and you might be surprised to see the names that will be entering the server for this one. The current reigning major champions FaZe taking on Vitality to make sure they're not in that O2 bracket.
Oh my god, this guy is so good. 2 at the same time? 3? 5? Can't imagine someone as good as him, man.
What are you watching? Oh my
Look at he does it so well.
Everybody?
With everyone. Look, again.
Again?
The fuck? He's so good.
It's so good. Then he's waiting.
What? No.
Oh, he's gonna take all of them.
Not the ace.
He takes
the ace.
Oh my.
That's exactly what we need, man. Look.
Oh, just like taking him like look. All 5? Oh my god. I want him to hug me like this. Like I will be happy.
So good.
You have to bring him with us.
Yeah, with his friend as well.
And I think two is
good. Okay.
And this guy is look great. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Let's win a major first. Of course.
What do you mean?
Some savagery ready to be served up here at IEM Rio. Both Vitality and FaZe colliding in our next 0-1 matchup, and simultaneously both finding themselves in this position by the skin of their teeth. Multiple overtimes spelled heartbreak, unfortunately, for Vitality earlier taking on Na'Vi, whereas FaZe actually letting Cloud9 battle their way back into an overpass that started off 11-4 in their favor. What happened to that one, Alan?
That was a really surprising result. It felt absolute shoo-in that FaZe going to get that map over the line. They're up even bigger. It was actually towards the end of that first half that Cloud9 even got anything on the board.
Yeah.
And going into that second, it's sort of an implosion. I mean, C9 played excellent CT Counter-Strike. They called so many good rounds, but I can't help feeling for a team like FaZe, with the players they've got, you're just going to generate a few entry kills. You're going to get in a few good positions, and unfortunately for them, they just couldn't close. And they've said in recent tournaments, it's those 50-50 rounds, the 2v2s, the 3-on-3s, that's where they're losing out, and that's why they lost to C9.
Yeah, I think C9 actually have shown us in the past matches this ability to, like, mental fortitude, this ability to come back into the games. I mean, we saw that against Imperial, unfortunately, right? that they were able to bounce back from a 15-6 scoreboard. And I mean, yeah, of course, it did help that Imperial had a bad T side, but it doesn't matter, right? Cloud9 has shown us, probably like between the teams during the challenger stage, they were the ones that impressed me the most, their ability to come back into the games.
Yeah.
Their timeouts were on point. I think their adaptions mid-game were on point. So just overall, like, yes, Vitality should have won, but Cloud9 proved once again to us their ability to adapt mid-games and all that.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. Real mental resilience coming out of Cloud9, particularly being down 0-2 in that challenger stage as well. We can't underestimate their ability to be able to run things back. Vitality, on the other hand, obviously the first time we saw Na'Vi gracing the screens here in the Legend stage. Any takeaways from that game, Alan? Did you actually think it was going to get that close between these two sides?
No, I thought Na'Vi maybe reasonably close, but not double overtime.
Yeah.
Not actually, I think it's triple overtime in the end. That was a crazy game. That was an absolute slugfest. Both teams, it was crazy. The amount of crazy rounds, huge clutches, so many important after-part situations as a map like Mirage always generates. And I think honestly they lost it a little bit on the T side. They were a little bit sloppy in that first half. They left maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 rounds on the table, and then it never would have gone to overtime. But irrespective of losing that game, that's the Vitality we want to see. That's the Vitality that can compete for this title, and for me that's more exciting than anything else.
Yeah, particularly coming off the back of the challenger stage where it was definitely a roller coaster ride, a turbulent one for Vitality coming into things. Let's focus on our Colex players to watch for this one though. Alan, who are you putting under the microscope for Vitality coming into this?
I think we went for Magisk because he was a really pivotal player in that challenger stage. Of course, ZywOo, I mean, stats are just ridiculous. Like, we're almost immune to it now. We've seen it so many times. But Magisk was the clutch player. He was the closer. He was so brilliant in high-pressure, late-round situations, getting them so many important kills. And when players like Spinks, Dupree maybe, were a little bit off their form, I think Magisk was rock solid, and he's not necessarily in position to get all the frags, but yeah, he was absolutely brilliant, I think, in the challenger stage.
And then with the man on our screen, obviously, we're comparing him to Rain, the current reigning major MVP, obviously winning the last one in Antwerp. Why are we comparing these two players in particular, Peacemaker?
I mean, I think Rain is just as impactful. I mean, they don't necessarily play the same roles, right? But Rain has its own qualities as a player, always had, right? Like, Rain is a very aggressive player, super impactful for the FaZe lineup. And I mean, we've seen a couple tournaments back in the days where, you know, Rain wasn't like really popping off and playing his A game, and that hasn't gone well for FaZe. So it is nice to see Rain returning to its form and playing good once again. And just in general, like, I think that both of those players are crucial for their rosters in every single aspect, even though they play different roles. Like, yeah, Magic, as Alan said, rock solid, anchor player, like just an example as a player ever since Astralis and everything. So
yeah, obviously two kind of veterans coming into this as well, and particularly when we're looking at Rain, just the comfort level that we see him under when they're under these high pressure situations, obviously huge amount, a wealth of experience out on these big land stages as well.
Rain's a bit of an enigma. I always say to people that he plays like he's 16 years old. He genuinely does. He's so aggressive the way he goes for duels, and Karrigan had a hilarious line in an interview where he said, if you tell Rain not to peek, he's just going to swing and find 2 kills and win the round. And that is Rain. I mean, he plays all the positions that are traditionally reserved for the young, aggressive aimers, Zerjan, for example. And he's getting on a little bit now, but it doesn't matter. Still finds all the frags, still loves to get aggressive, and Rain, yeah, child in an adult body, perhaps.
Yeah, he makes it Rain with fire more often than not on the server. We can see the map picks and bans coming out. Obviously, Inferno, the classic one in that best-of-1 series. How do you kind of weigh up then both sides of the equation coming into this particular one, Alan?
Yeah, I feel like Inferno as a map is a test of pure fundamentals, and I think for both of these teams that maybe has been a little bit of a question mark, maybe over the last few events, and obviously in the Challenger stage for Vitality. So I think more than anything, this is an amazing litmus test for both teams.
Yeah.
Are they prepared to take on each other? Who's going to come out on top? Who has the better calling, better fundamentals, better communication? And based off what we saw earlier today, I'd be gobsmacked if we're not in overtime.
Yeah, let's give us all the OTs coming into this one. I'm just looking at the history between these two squads as well. Obviously, a huge depth. Haven't actually seen them play Inferno for quite a while, though. How does that then leave your expectations, Peacemaker?
well, I expect FaZe to have a little advantage here. Like, I think they are more comfortable on the map. And as you said, the head-to-head doesn't look good for Vitality. I think the last time they were able to beat FaZe was in January 2022 in a best-of-1 in a very close game. So, doesn't look good.
Yeah, been quite the number of months since the Bees have managed to submit the sting to the side of FaZe, but potentially going to be changing the course of history, coming into Inferno once again. And once again, it is Chad and Alex on the mics.
Much love for a very insightful desk from the guys there, and we are ready and equipped for another Inferno. FaZe Vitality. This is a star-studded server right now. Look at the names. I'll give them to you as we jump into a CT start for FaZe. And Vitality are on that attack. A lot of intent and a lot of pace behind this. The smoke's already sailing through the sky, and they're up mid. Up brackets, jiggle out. Brokey looking for damage, gets only a Glock to the face instead. Karrigan has to tuck and drop that smoke twist. He's got a crossfire up at elevated angle. Still good tap, one back, needs more. No backup, running out of teammates. It's a clean pistol out of Vitality, charging into the A site, with absolutely no time for FaZe to really think about that one.
Yeah, well, they were playing reactive there, FaZe. They had that little jiggle out top mid, and I think Karrigan was playing Speedway ready to play off of that information. So they had 4 players. Maybe it wasn't Karrigan, but they definitely had a 4th member over towards that A site to back them up. And, well, they had the right pieces in the right places, but Vitality were just so quick up that short side, and we'll get straight back into the action here with a force buy.
Okay. Deagles are plenty, even a CZ for Karrigan. Rain's got his nade with Zywoo's name right on it, just a bit shy. On the bounce, the second not the same. Zywoo down to half health. Very susceptible to a Deagle to the belly. Karrigan forward position, so blind though, doesn't get cleared. Oh, he actually catches Magisk. Zywoo trying to follow up, needs the trade, good damage inflicted, but not that lethality he was hoping for. So a double from Zywoo's SMG puts FaZe into the man disadvantage.
They don't have any information right now. Brokey's rotated around the world to deal with B and Rops and Twist. Well, they're starting to rescind as well. They've practically just given up the A site completely. So Vitality, strong signs early of playing with the rotation here. They're going to be in. Going to get this bomb down, and Twist's too late to the party, unable to punish as they make their way up. All 4 members rooted quite deeply into the site now. As you can see, the digits getting punched in by Spinks. And Twist, Brokey, and Rops, the young core of this team, are going to have to hold on to their goodies. I think that's one of the most exciting things with this FaZe roster. Have had a phenomenal year. Obviously, reigning major champions. Those 3 names, right? You think you've seen them around the traps for some time, but they are very, very young indeed. 22 for Rops, 22 for Twist, and 21 for Brokey. And then you've got the Elder Statesman, and those are the ones in the grave in the round right now. The in-game leader, Carrigan, 32, and Rain, as Alan was, attesting to, he's getting on a bit. 28 for him, and he still plays as one of the sharpest and more aggressive members of this team.
Love the framing. Love the framing from Alan, just saying that, you know, Rain is playing the spots he usually put the plucky upstart in. And there's good reason for that. You know, I don't know if this phase roster would be finding as much success if it was just Carrigan on his Todd and it was all for new blood. You can see a lot of love for Vitality there.
We're trying to find the camera. I didn't know where to look right there. I know that feeling.
Really ready.
Look, there's so much experience in the server, right? I know you mentioned the names, what we're talking about here, but you're just talking about, well, the individuals on the Vitality side of things, the Danes. You got to throw Apex into the mix, the coach. Spinks, he's obviously one that is going to be tested on a map like Inferno. Now, we'll have to wait till the second half when we talk about the B defense.
Yeah, but some
Vitality.
of his T-side openings are still outstanding. I've seen this guy dig Vitality out of trouble more than once. Magisk flames out, forces the fight, and forward, down. Goes Carrigan, the jumping accuracy. Something in the water here in Rio. That was pinpoint straight to the head. And already, yeah, a bit of a tailspin for FaZe. You can see damage on the nose. Brokey, 1 HP, just evades the shrapnel. Dupree will park the bus here for a moment, responsible for any inquisitive CTs out early apps. Rob's flirting with the option.
A BXQ would be great here, right? Obviously the low HP of Brokey that we can see, but the fact that they have all these goodies. Oh, okay, don't worry about the low HP of Brokey. Mega's just going to mop them up here. They're in the site, and the kills are going to keep coming. Dupree around the corner. And it's just Twist to find who's back where he started in CT spawn.
I mean, this is the same Vitality we had at the Challenger stage, right?
Yeah, but this is the thing. You think about their opening matchup of the day against Na'Vi, went triple overtime. And you want to compare that to FaZe, who went the distance against Cloud9, but they were the ones who seemingly lost the lead. Yeah. Right? We know Cloud9 are fantastic at these comebacks, especially on a map like Overpass. It's not the first time we've seen it. The bigger issue is the boogeyman for FaZe. The amount of times that they've lost in high-pressure matches against Cloud9 this year. Now, sure, that's a best of one. You can contextualize that.
It's an organizational curse.
Well, I'm talking IEM Dallas, right? Yeah. That was in the playoffs. I'm talking about ESL Pro League Season 16. That was in the playoffs. And Cloud9 are able to beat them in those type of environments. So if we're looking at who's more frustrated with their loss, I would say FaZe would be. Because all of that boot camp they had in the lead into this, high on my list, right? I would have Nafany's face right next to Groove on the mirror if I'm Carrigan. Every time I walk into the bathroom, I go, I am not losing to you two again. And then they did in their opening match, the Legend stage. So I'd be much more frustrated with the opening loss if I'm FaZe, as opposed to Vitality, who, sure, they're coming in here as a name that might be able to lift that trophy, but going up against Na'Vi, simple in the server, right? That's a bit more of a 50-50.
The conclusion we saw, actually, Apex taking to Twitter, just saying that was a game that anyone could have won. And of course, when it goes quad OT, that statement rings true. But we are in a position now where Vitality are going up against their first taste of a FaZe Clan full buy.
Yeah, we need to talk about this, though. Theirs is not a full buy. The UMP and 2 MAC-10s carried through. So let's call this one a bit of a bonus round here, but doesn't appear to be used in any flary fashion. They're just standing and delivering what is a default spread. Megas is going to extinguish. And
Apex will flash. Rain aware. Anti for now. Brokey posted up for any curious boosts. Nades clear the sandbags. No one home, but still one holding that wall. Considering their options, Zywoo to facilitate, Magisk to clear. Brokey should have them any day of the week. He's been pre-aiming this boost. He knows what they like, and that's just what I like. Magisk down, unable to do anything with it. Even tagged him through the wall. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Dupree catches flak from 2. Rain and Brokey combined to put the Dane on notice. 20 HP for him.
It's a good adjustment. Wow, it's not even an adjustment. It's a good start to have this AWP over towards B early. So Brokey is going to send them packing for now. 55 seconds left on the clock, and because there were so many resources put into dealing with Banana early, you have to come back and clear all of these cheeky corners. You can see somewhat glances. They're not completely believing the fact that maybe second mid and halls have been infiltrated, and 4 players now congregating for Vitality towards A. Carrigan starting to sweep forward towards mid and calling this one clear, but the Uto, it's coming.
Okay, Carrigan, easy find. Apex draws him out of his hidey hole, trying to play with the jiggle, and Spinks springs to life. Twist, aggressive, this could be huge, it's 3! Winning the round in the flames, he goes down after the game, but still, FaZe find their first round, and a quick 3-piece add a Twist to put the first on the board.
Yeah, understood the situation very well there. The fact that he needed to play for that information, likely to get 1 kill, the fact he gets all 3 is fantastic work. and prepared for this. So knowing that one individual watching the low ground, Brokey just has to watch the high ground. That little combo securing it, and this is brilliant from Twist. He will give up his life, sure, but that's the round they're looking for, and Carrigan happy with this. Now, I mentioned bonus round. Still plenty of cash for Vitality to buy in for round number 5. They have Zywoo onto the AWP here now.
Yeah, different approach as well to banana control. You know, we've just had an Inferno. It's interesting to see how FaZe's CT setup differs.
I've highlighted this previously with Vitality in the server, is the way that they get banana control. They like to throw a defensive smoke, right, and that is also to help extinguish any Molotovs and makes them seem a little bit more poppy, but it's also a way to stall out the CTs. They don't tend to want to be able to peek down. Yeah,
they're going for a very typical apartment setup early, and it should be set up for success. Both connect, Rops and Brokey, two of the young guns in that FaZe jersey. Both win their duel, and Vitality, yeah, what are you supposed to do now? You've lost your 2 explorers on the A side of the map. Now Apex has filled that void. He's calling it clear, and Zywoo catches Carrigan. How? Straight to the fingertips, still finds lethality. Smoke deployed in React, and the trajectory implies sight side.
This is all on Apex right now. There's still time for them to rotate back. If Apex can push out, he can maybe find the timing on this. Rops has given up the site completely here. Twist has rotated as well. When Rain's calling, yo, boys, it's not B. You got to get back towards A.
Still not in. He's still not in.
He hasn't taken the risk.
That window is closing. That window is closed as Rops does slink back into the site. Apex none the wiser now. He's been spotted out. They have to find his duel. Magus, Zywoo both managed to find their crosshairs in the right place. Twist still on site.
Very blind.
Needs to go down. Now Magus again, delivering in the dying stages of this round. It should be a bomb plant. Brokey and Rain not going to contribute. That was a recovered round. I mean, this was the same round. Brokey and Rops both got a frag, and it was a 3v5.
Over-rotation there. That over-rotation towards B, they completely gave up the A side. I'm not sure why they felt that that was going to be the finish. Maybe Zywoo's AWP making them bite down in a big way, but that is going to cost FaZe. Uncharacteristic not to leave anybody over towards that A site. And that flash catching Twist, that's the most unfortunate factor there as he tried to scramble in towards the site. You would have expected him to be good for at least 1 or 2 in that position, but just completely white screened. And 3 players likely to stay alive. It felt as well, as soon as Apex got spotted by Rops, you're thinking, okay, well, the jig should be up. But Rops is trying to get entrenched in towards Pit. Didn't realize they were already on the short side with that lack of information. Gets caught out of place and then puts all the pressure on Twist, who goes down. So well handled from Vitality here. Just some quick rotations.
Yeah, it could be a question of when you get Rob Ant on that microphone. Zonic, of course, behind the boys of Vitality.
2 legends of the game here. They used to play against each other back in 1.6, right?
Still mad. That was a kill as well. It looked like Carrigan was just on the jiggle, but Zywoo, he's always good at making a lot out of a little and perfect utility, you can see.
Apex's flash.
Yeah, Apex completely set them up for success there. 4. T-side Inferno. This is a best of 1. Vitality, not forgetting, really pushed Na'Vi in their opening. This is a loser's match. Feels weird to say as we introduce FaZe Vitality, and Dupree, he's kind of aware. Oh, no, he's not. Swaps out to the knife. Zywoo does manage to pull us back into a state of normality.
Dupree didn't trust himself. You could see he was ready for that type of a clear, but then the knife comes out thinking, no, this isn't possible, and it's caught Panzer around the ankle.
What am I thinking? What am I thinking? Rops does go aggressive.
Still aggressive maneuver from Rops as well. It tends to be one of the more passive pieces, but this time finding an opening. Now, in this scenario, traditionally, it would be favoring the Ts. Vitality can hit the brakes. They've got the util advantage, the weapon advantage over Carrigan and that MP9.
Okay, this is a clear game plan being established now. Rain trying to bait them in. Carrigan happy to push up deep logs.
But Carrigan can be cleared very easily. He doesn't have a smoke to his name here to be able to bail himself out. They can molly this position from almost exactly where Megas is standing.
Yeah, Brokey will face the smoke and lose info top mid. Twist recedes as well. Vitality just piecing it together now as they start their walk back up banana.
Well, that's bait. That's bait.
That is a big bait. Carrigan still goes down. A good clear. Again, a flash assist for Apex, setting his troops up for success, but it's all smoke and mirrors, and smoke, oof, does not stop Brokey. Just on the fade, Apex, light fades in his eyes, and now a rotate on and leaving Twist, abandoning him in that pit. He's going to have to do a lot. Brokey's realized his mistake. 20 seconds, this is the final commitment. That is the shot he had to hit. Spinks caught sleeping, flashed off, frags in, do from Twists. On that pit position, this time no over-rotation. He did not move a muscle. During all of the hijinks of that mid-round, he stayed vigilant on that A position, and he gets the double kill to secure it. FaZe back on the board, a second secured.
Oh, even with the 0 out of 8 bait and banana right here that you get encapsulated by Mega's kill right there, that's the gap that Brokey's able to pip and then keeps on firing. So the combination of Twist and Brokey and their multis will lock this one out, and Twist has been responsible for 2 multi-kills in both of the rounds converted now. Tends to be that individual to step up when the chips are down. Mr. Reliable.
It is timeout time.
And this will be from Vitality. So it's more to discuss the finances here because you have Spinks on 3.1 and Dupree on 3.7. Everybody else can buy. So in this moment, you need to discuss, look, are we going to go more firepower? Are we going to try and hedge in here with a bit more utility? Megas trying to get the troops focused here because, sure, they have this lead, but it can slip away very, very quickly. And they've gone for a full investment. So it's not util heavy, it's firepower. They've gone rifles across the board and AWP for ZywOo yet again. They might have to either go something a lot quicker or a lot slower, right? You could either going to have to try and fight fire with fire or allow all the util to be used to level out the playing field.
Yeah, you're right. There's the 3 players with barely a nade to their name.
ZywOo's got a good spawn here.
He's considering his options. He will at least post up on the angle. Is anyone brave enough from FaZe? The nade does go down the gullet, though. Up onto the half wall as well. Forced off by the Flame. 5 on 5 in the state of play. 90 seconds, so plenty of time. And they just keep track of that CT utility. You know, it is being rinsed through as we continue to watch them go through the motions.
Basically level now, and we've already had 30 seconds of the round play out, so that just shows you Vitality, by being a little bit slower about things, how quick they've been able to force this utility out of the hands of FaZe.
Dupree claiming apartments for Vitality. This is the duel Robs has been waiting for, and Dupree already ready and receives. Robs down, opening for Vitality. Off the back of their timeout. Can they convert, though? Rounding that corner would be a death sentence. Right now, you got Rain and Carrigan vying for it. Brokey wants to show presence on A. Clear intent now. Can they break this setup? The 2 vets, veterans of the game, unload their mags. It's Carrigan with 2 frags. ZywOo cannot trade. Bomb scooped up safely. That's a big win for Vitality to recover. A little bit of chip damage onto Rain, unconfirmed. He's scary, but Twist should have Spinks. Leaves him in a bit of a dire strait. ZywOo, Dupree, 2 on 4. Carrigan with a low HP. He's just going to be receiving information on that slither gap of that cross long. And yeah, looks like they are. ZywOo bringing that bomb all the way towards T Apartments, looking for a house, and has found one successfully. He's been waiting for this. Dupree puts his life on the line for another frag on the way out.
Keeping them soft, right, as far as the finances go, so that's a decent kill. There will be enough for them to drop weapons here, so not end of the world, but making sure that it doesn't get out of control on the FaZe side of the server early. And that was a great double kill here from Carrigan. He didn't even need Rain. You can see him pivot from that sandbag position, but it was all Carrigan. He locks this down, and you're wondering where the trade is. So Apex really not happy with how that one unfolded. But Mr. Emotional, we know we see a lot of different faces out of Apex here. Get the full roller coaster.
Yeah, I don't know if he has the ability to hide his emotion, but he makes no secret of that.
A little bit shy there. Banana control again. Megas has been able to get this in several different occasions here, at least up towards the half wall.
Yeah, he's been very consistent and persistent in acquiring banana control.
And so is Rops in these type of duels. Close boiler, close holes, pushing through, ready to take some fights. We've already seen this look from him before.
Yeah, he does have a bit more pep in his step, and certainly more of an aggressive twang. Okay, retake smoke. There's the incendiary to follow. Completely denies any established Vitality hold.
You want to try and enable ZywOo with this AWP. We saw him hit that banger before onto Carrigan towards spawn. Now they will have to relinquish control. Have to wait out this smoke. They don't have their own utility to fight through, right? They can't molly back towards it. They are going to have to clear out sandbag. They've already died to that Spinks. He rounds the corner into the MP9s. That is an easy exchange.
Yeah, Carrigan's actually redumping that util, trying to set Rain up. Perfect flash. He still goes down. Problems now. Carrigan calling for cavalry, but it's already too little, too late. Big find just as the smoke pops CT. Carrigan makes his presence known. Hanging around the oranges. Is it sweet? It is! He gets another done. Missed shot. Brokey does manage to elope through the smoke, and still advantage for FaZe Clan. But the bomb going down makes it interesting all the same. An interesting lurky smoke thrown forward, just underhanding. Keep them guessing. Robs clears out Banana. They know they're likely both on site. It is a question of time. Smoke and kit are available. In fact, 2 smokes as they want to piece together the final resting place of Vitality. Apex, the more nimble of the 2. Dupree committed to the emo. Needs this first frag. Gets it cleanly. Looking for the second. There's the trade from Ross. He hasn't got the weapon for this. Still finds the headshot on the MP9. Dupree, perfect position. Just needs one. Does deny. Rotting the clock. No time for this. Brokey hunts him down. It's too light on time. Does he get away with the AWP? He doesn't even have time to pick it up. Might find it after. Well played by Brokey. Gets away at least with the AWP, but that is just bittersweet. There's another round on the board. Those frustrations, that timeout, they do pay off and translate into a round 5 now under the belt of Vitality.
It's a real tussle here. Remember what type of investment this was, and you can see it Megas there, somewhat playing anti-flash, right? So aware of the util set that's coming his way, and that's the reason Rain gets immediately punished. Karrigan tries to do his best work there, but that is a great round to win. That should get you fired up, especially on the T side of Inferno.
And if you've got newer viewers, I know there's usually some around the major circuit, that is a prime example of why some players are sometimes looking the wrong way. You know, you see a professional player look away from where the action's coming. That is a prime example. If he does eat that flash with his teammates, that's a 3K spray down.
We're about to go into a pivot round right here for FaZe. They have fully invested, and that full investment comes with 3 MP9s, an AWP, and an M4. If they're unable to get anything slightly convincing in a round like this, Vitality will break them here and be able to put up a slew of T-sided rounds. It's already looking good with 5. This could quite quickly become 7 if they don't convert right here, FaZe. So an important round for them. That AWP being the mantle of all of this in the hands of Brokey. Needs to find some traction, sending towards the B bomb site, looking for a fight. Might get more than a fright as, yeah, smoked off. I mentioned that defensive smoke they throw. You're never going to push.
It just cuts it off completely. It's no longer an option. Quick util.
Well, they heard the AWP. Why not?
Yeah, he knows that he's likely going to have company, but he hasn't been actually actively watching the apps cross. This is going to be very quick. Straight out of the bulk. Robs is going to be in jeopardy. Should be. Brokey in support, though. It's a big one back from Apex. Zywoo cleans house onto short side. And Vitality have once again kicked open the door. Do not forget what Chad just told you. A lot at stake in this round for FaZe. You said 6, 7. Well, 6 is only 3 frags away. Brokey
committed.
Trying to find a way back in. Combat AWPing. Good flash. Apex eats his teammate's flash, but vision's restored now. Repositioned and awkward. Very awkward. 2 on site, 2 on pit. Karrigan just tapped through the smoke. Surely you get out of there. And Brokey will try. Loudly strafes around and will retreat, but that still leaves a bad taste in the mouth of FaZe fans.
Rain's going to see if he can pick up this M4. Now, he was fantastic on their first map of play, even though they went down, but yet to get a kill here in their second map of Inferno. Remember, this is the 0-1 column, so both of these teams are in hot water immediately. The pressure is at an all-time high, and Vitality, in this environment, have already battled back through that pressure just to get to this legend stage, whereas FaZe, this is their first day of competition. So they will only hold on to the MP9 and the AWP. It gives them something to work with, but it has to be an eco from everybody else on FaZe, unless they're feeling a little bit funky, a little bit crazy about things. And that was it. It was the MP9s on the site. So they hear the AWP shot, right? They go, all right, well, let's try and go through halls here. They only have to deal with MP9s. They smash those out of the server. Brokey even rotated back in time to pluck one of them coming out of that balcony position. But it just wasn't enough to stop them from getting onto the site here. So one more crack of this Brokey AWP. You can't put it past FaZe to win a round like this, but a few things need to go right for them.
Yeah, one thing would be the unarmored USP on B doesn't get too violently tested.
Yeah, this is the thing. I like what Brokey's doing. He's going and firing warning shots. And okay, Karrigan, that was...
He's trying to bait for Brokey, but he needs one. Oh, and he lets it go. I wouldn't dare repeat that one. Fires one back. Nades will rain in. 9 HP now on your hero AWP. And ooh.
I'd still execute. It doesn't scare me, right? I would still think, okay, we have all the nades, everything we need. Let's execute and at least investigate, right? Double smoke towards spawn. A little bit of a flub there, but
they left a bomb at spawn.
Oh, they'll get it. Don't you worry about that. Apex will get in, call this clear. I'm sure Dupree will be the one tasked with dropping back to pick that up. Spinks will be on the harder lurk, and he might even get to profit from this.
Oh, there's definitely at least one here. Rain. Still yet to frag, that changes. Spinks down, weapon upgrade found, and now that bomb. Oh, Rops is actually still on A side. Dupree doesn't get caught on his retrieval mission. Thought perhaps a cursory glance down mid could have been the end of things, but yeah, this one's still just falling into place.
It honestly might just be save the AWP and M4 again.
Yeah.
Because they gave up the site so early, they know that it's completely given over. All that util they heard, you would have to expect at least somebody investigate it. Now, with the bomb going down, that is confirmed. So 40 seconds thrust onto the clock, and Vitality are the ones who get to set the pace in this round. Hey boys, do we want to save a bit more cash for the tail end of this? Yeah, sure. Let's just sit back, allow them to save what they've got. We know they're buying into the next. This is a fantastic T side from Apex.
The HLTV.org, world number 1 and world number 2. in a 0-1 match, and one of them is going to be 0-2 after the first day of the Legend stage. I mean, help me make sense of this.
That's just how stacked it is. That's just how stacked this is, right? You look at all the games, especially to kick off the day, and they're all bangers. Like every game had a storyline, something you could sink your teeth into. This is the top of the mountain as far as Counter-Strike goes. There are no easy games here. One goes off, Twist searching forward, and might just want to stay alive, and will. So the buy is going to come back out, but there will be emissions, right? They have to be a little bit lighter on regarding some of this util. Proki continuing to save this orb is going to have to get stuck in sooner rather than later, and that's a bit more on brand for him. So the fact that they're in this hole, how are they going to burrow their way out? Robson with an MP9 again.
Yeah, I mean, I did love Rops's aggression out of apps. Maybe it's someone else's turn to throw the bit of CT knuckles to the face. Considering it, Brokey strafes out. Oh! Zywoo happens! 2, clears mid, make it 3 as Apex puts the cherry on top. Vibes at an all-time high for Vitality as they're about to win the T-half in this best of 1 up against world #1. And they're doing it cleanly here, Chad. Only Rain remains. 5 alive for Vitality, and that is a vibe. Zywoo just bounces FaZe back to spawn.
You look at the type of rounds and where they've lost them here from FaZe. They didn't even get an opportunity to play that round. They wanted to take the fight, and they just got absolutely sidelined by Zywoo here. 13 kills for him, leading the charge right now for Vitality.
That's what we all think is going to happen when we take that mid-fight. That's exactly how I'm going to win the round. I'll just win the round in the first 5 seconds, boys. Trust me.
Well, normally what happens in these situations when the chips are down, and we've heard from Rain in interviews, if he can hold on to this M4, I might be able to explore exactly where I want to go for this. Dupree is quick, and yeah, Rain's trapped, he's dead. I was going to say, in these situations, Rain just tends to go, yeah, I'm just going to buy a rifle and kill a couple of players, right? Now, he doesn't have enough money to really do so in an environment like this, and here it is again, Zywoo 1 and 2. I'm ready for that second peak, don't you worry.
Just the 2 biggest guns in the round.
You can see fapping around. Rob's trying to grab a different rifle, and well, Apex is just going to run straight up and remove him from the picture as well. Second timeout called. There's Robban. Talking about having their second boot camp, and this is a flat-looking FaZe. Now, of course, both of these matches are played within the same day. The best of 3 safety nets kick in tomorrow. But that's going to be quite the story if they have to do the reverse sweep in similar fashion to what Cloud9 did.
Yeah, and Vitality right now, I'm sure they are going through, they're breaking out of that chrysalis. The caterpillar becoming the butterfly. This is that transformative tournament for them. You've already won a Pro League. You've already been kicked down in the Challenger stage, down to the alarm bells of 0-2. Best of 3s, run it back, smashing through. Now coming in hot to the Legend stage and really just slapping the monkey off your back. You've got FaZe Clan up against you, 0-1. This could really, really be a confidence boost if Vitality can hold on to this momentum. And that's an if, because Rops is in the server, keeping his cool, gets away just with a scrap of health. Will juggle the weapon, try and keep that potency flowing. Is Twist now tasked? Or not?
No, he doesn't have armor. That's why he doesn't want it.
Touche.
So they are going to have to give it to Rain or Carrigan potentially here. I would assume Rain, but he's right now over towards that B site. So we'll be staying with Rops for now. Magus trying to draw things level. At least we'll find some damage and smoked off. So pulling utility here out of what FaZe are invested with for round 12. Top mid control and top banana completely under the remit of Vitality right now. You are extremely happy with this with 60 seconds left on the clock, and it gives a lot of options for Apex from the grave to pull this out.
Twist has been given one to peek behind. Are they aware? Well, Brokey blind. Gap established. Oh, the head! It was in the crosshairs. Zywoo just too quick on the draw. Will take down Twist, and yeah, now Vitality looking for more. Another from Zywoo. Really has not let off the gas. One back, Rops, low HP, playing that head triangle, well managed, but not enough. Some damage into Vitality's attack with the bomb to be planted. Rain and Carrigan, known to be the B players, arriving late with nothing really to get excited about.
Precisely, and damage. Oh! Yeah, I was going to say damage is not really too exciting right now. That shot was, and Carrigan is going to have a look. He does have time if he makes a move now. And makes the move, and it is still now. 9-3. In favor of Vitality now, a 5-round streak here.
Can they do more? I mean,
definitely so. When Zywoo's playing like this, yes, because this is the complexion of the team that we expect and is the scariest, right? Zywoo top of the scoreboard, And then his 4 wise men trundling along and doing their absolute best here to have those instrumental kills just to close out the rounds. It hasn't been Spigs as the 2-eye seat so far during the major. It has been ZywOo, and then Apex has had a couple of big... Look, it really is just ZywOo here. This is it. We're getting to the do or die stages right now for FaZe in this first half.
Yeah.
They can salvage 6. If they salvage 6, we move into the second half, the pistol round. Sure, then we have that conversation again. But if this continues in this fashion, this is going to be a quick game. Rops again, inquisitive, glance, flash forward, looking for fights, trying to find the straggler of Spinks, who is up towards that window room.
But what can these mere mortals do at the hand of a god? ZywOo, 15 and 4, showing absolutely no signs of stopping.
I guess when you get to warm up against the, well, your biggest adversary, right? Simple as ZywOo, that was the match to warm up.
Just a warm up.
The Vitality side of the server here. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm feeling the reps now. I'm ready to go. I'll take off the weights. I know it's FaZe. I know they're the world #1. I know they're the reigning major champions. I know that the Intel Grand Slam is on the line, but it don't matter.
It don't matter to them one bit. Rain needs a lot here and gets diddly squat flattened by Dupree and Magisk. Oh, FaZe already burnt 2 timeouts in the first 12 rounds of play, and this one is going to go the same way. They're into the B site.
Hold up a second. There was going to be a save until that kill came in, so Spinks has actually overstepped the mark. This is at least made FaZe slightly interested.
Look
they
at
have
Broki's util. They're talking about it.
They can go for this.
Yeah.
But this is for everything.
I mean, this is for all the marbles. 9-6. It is still on the cards. It just has to manifest now. Time very sensitive. Util towards Nubox. Not going to achieve much.
Banana smoke.
Would lock out ZywOo. He has been hitting everything through smokes, though. Flashes in. They are committing. Very light on time. This is the volley.
That's
huge.
This
is the volley. That could change it all. Oh, what a tap. Dupree bails himself out with skill, and now it is just Brokey to save. Vitality have ascended to a different power level now. And that's 10. 10 for the T side. Apex Love in live. They'll go down with the ship, but that doesn't mean anything.
No, not at all. You're happy with that. You've got around like 9, 10K. You can buy again. You've only got 2 more rounds of play right here. This is phenomenal stuff.
Unbelievable.
This FaZe just getting made to look silly right now. You know, they don't get the opening kill. The trade's there, sure. It's not enough. They rotate over. We're talking about the util. ZywOo's taking the fight first. That banana smoke, where was it? Dupree's happy to stand forward and take a fight off of that contact, playing some fantastic Counter-Strike of Vitality now.
Yeah, and everyone's there pulling their weight, albeit ZywOo at 16 and 4 continues to rain down terror. Posted for the aggression, obscured by that smoke from the HG. His back is turned, and the bodyguard is fapping with his nades. It's a quick one back. At least recovers it. And they're just charging. They are charging straight towards Rain. Does anyone not check this? Calculated flash. Rain safe from it. Does get a baseball of it. And ZywOo will shut down the threat. Brokey with his AWP. What's he supposed to do? He's going to maybe even bang him through. Oh, was not far off. Really, really close. Tiny margins. Brokey's options limited by ZywOo. Just on the other side, it's going to be an AWP v AWP 1v1, a battle to the death, a battle of wit. I'm sorry! I'm sorry! Can someone, this not normally? Can we check PC?
What can we say about this one? Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I really don't. And they'll all go down again? Why not? It doesn't matter.
They got cash to splash. They're just doing it for style points at this point.
They're not allowing Rops to stat pad right here in Apex. He went from looking frustrated a couple of rounds ago to looking over the moon here.
Straight BS in these kids.
I love this. They left a little Easter egg in the smoke there for Rain. It's impressive.
No, no.
Come on, man.
No. His face as well, just stoned. He's like, oops, maybe that was a bit
I
obvious.
did expect him to be there, of course. Of course I did. Well, okay. 12-3 possible for Vitality now. This is not what I think anybody at home was expecting.
No, it's so far from the reality we expected that I'm struggling to put words to it. FaZe, CT side Inferno, 3 rounds. 4 feels like a necessity. Last round of the first half in this best of 1. One of these teams, the end of this map, will be 0-2. Takes 3 to lose. Best of 3s in elimination. And Magisk, oh no, destruction. Brokey next, quick flashback. Brokey at least gives us something to hold on to for FaZe. Maintaining control, but it may be changed as ZywOo is on the way. Walls, smoke, no problem.
Again, these mid-rounds from Vitality, they've done such a great job of either just waiting out, playing the rotation. Remember that over-rotation phase were very early in this game. They'd be doing a great job of making the necessary decisions, and even though they have 2 kills in their favour, 50 seconds on the clock, Vitality, the maps they're oyster. Sure, they don't help top brackets control right now, but they have a number advantage situation with all the utility. They can pick either side, execute in, and as long as they trade efficiently, they will win the round.
And at this point, it's salt in the wound. FaZe already bleeding out. Vitality with a bucket of salt if they can find a 12th.
It's all on Rops here. He's in graveyard. He's the only one that can stall this out. That's a Moto smoke. There'll be no long smoke here, so Twist has a chance to stop Zai with it on Rops.
Flash, vision, Molly needs to fight. Just stand in the flames and spray. 1.5 may not be sufficient. Twist, though, looking to finish the job, does have the chance onto Apex. Reposition is exciting.
Time.
Health is low, and that is the end. Surely, 5 seconds. No, they're not planting. Apex is getting it in time. Just needs to knock him off the bomb, and a missed shot to secure the 12th. Vitality, full of life indeed. It's FaZe Clan, whose dreams of domination may be waning. 0-2, hanging out. If they don't step it up in the second half, they will be on the attack when we get back.
This play from Ross, and up a bit, he's knocking him down like bowling pins. He gets 4, is he on for the 8th? Tough kill and run, he's back to spawn. Robs, will he find this? Oh, he locks it up, Robs!
This is a public service announcement. Do not adjust your sets. The image you are seeing is real. In a 0-1 game, both teams downtrodden. Live from IEM Rio, we find FaZe and Vitality duking it out on Inferno. The first half concludes. The scoreline reads a resounding 12-3. FaZe need this pistol.
ZywOo is happening right now. 21 kills, 2 assists, 6 deaths, 135.9 ADR, 7 multi-kills, and 2 opening kills. Can he be stopped? That's the question. The bookmakers don't believe so. That has blown out massively.
They are not so certain anymore. ZywOo is a certainty. He will deliver. That is not his last frag. 21 into our second half. Jakey and MC giving us that 1s and 2s.
This will be a B finish. They already are so far up, they're being baited into this.
Dupree, an armored dual Beretta, can get exciting, can get explosive, as can the nade, about to be cocked by Apex, looking to pull the pin.
First bullet.
Pulls the head off of Twist. More required. Good chip damage. Need to see some USPs in the feed. Vitality bite down and take FaZe for a walk. It's only 1 left. Rop's having a go. Needs 3.
Oh!
Quick headshots. Doesn't really prepare for the 4th. As ZywOo advances, you can see what it means to them. They know exactly what that pistol indicates. They could quickly condemn FaZe Clan stone-faced to the elimination game 0-2.
Oh, wow. You can see the juxtaposition of emotions, and you can understand why.
How many bullets did he have? Was it just the muscle memory, like assuming the rotate was longer? Yeah, he had plenty left.
But also, right, you get through those 3, you start to deal with ZywOo,
Yeah,
right? He
yeah.
had a miraculous first half. He was the driving force, and yeah, okay, FaZe, they'll give it a crack. A hero AK for Brokey, but this is desperate now.
FaZe head in hands.
This is only made possible by Rops' 3 kills. So if we do see an awful lot of traction from Brokey on this AK, maybe even a round conversion from FaZe, oh, Twist needs to get away, and now he will.
Does get away.
Oh, no, not for long. Apex chases him down, heat-seeking missile.
Strong arm on him. Magisk to be tested. It's Brokey, that hero AK. Jiggles out, needs to find precision. Quite the opposite. It's Magisk that's made the decision. This round is over. Completely flattened. Nothing to celebrate. Absolutely nothing for FaZe.
Why did no one take the AK?
Don't want it. Didn't even spot it.
I guess. I guess nobody.